Every day you're navigating through countless interactions, choices, and responsibilities. Sometimes it feels like a delicate balancing act, trying to be the best friend, partner, employee, or family member you can be. And while you pour energy into keeping everyone else content, there's a cost. It's subtle, but heavy. The cost of setting your own needs aside, often so much that your inner voice becomes quieter and quieter, drowned out by the noise of external demands. You may know the feeling well, the nagging sense that you're sacrificing too much of yourself just to keep the peace, just to avoid conflict or disappointment. You push down your true thoughts, swallow words that want to come out, and let others' needs take priority over your own. And sure, there's a sense of relief in sidestepping friction, but deep down, that relief is short-lived. Because with each moment you hold back, a small part of you fades into the background. Your energy, vitality, and sense of self can get lost in the endless effort to please. It doesn't have to be this way. There's a path that lets you keep your compassion and kindness without erasing your needs. Imagine living each day with a grounded confidence, knowing you're standing firmly in your truth, without bending to the will of others. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in self-respect and inner strength, comes into play. Stoic wisdom teaches that peace and freedom come when you start aligning your life with what matters most to you, instead of trying to fit into molds others have made. It's a philosophy that empowers you to move through life with grace and resilience, free from the burden of people-pleasing. This isn't about turning cold or hard, far from it. It's about cultivating strength within, so you can choose kindness from a place of clarity rather than obligation. There's a remarkable power that flows when you learn to say no with conviction, set boundaries with calm confidence, and put yourself first without feeling guilty. When you're true to yourself, your relationships with others improve. You connect not from a place of depletion, but from a space of balance, bringing the best of yourself to those who matter most. But before we dive into the how of this transformation, let's take a moment to address something important: the patterns that keep you locked in people-pleasing habits. These aren't weaknesses. They're often the result of genuine caring, empathy, and a strong sense of responsibility. And yet, they can spiral into behaviors that keep you from fully expressing yourself. By recognizing these patterns, you'll gain awareness, which is the first step in reclaiming your power. When you start observing the ways you compromise your well-being for others, you'll see it's not about becoming less nice or more selfish. It's about letting go of the need to please everyone at your own expense. Stoicism can show you that every yes should come from genuine willingness, not fear of disappointing others. Every act of kindness should come from abundance, not a sense of obligation. In learning this, you'll find freedom, a life where you're kind without compromising, compassionate without draining yourself. Now, imagine moving through life with a calm confidence that can't be shaken by others' opinions. Stoicism encourages us to practice non-attachment to others' judgments, understanding that our value doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. As you take on this perspective, you'll realize that self-worth is a source of inner strength, not something to be granted by someone else. When you know your value, you stop seeking it in others' responses, and that's where true freedom begins. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes boundaries. If you've spent years trying to be agreeable, boundaries might feel foreign, even uncomfortable. But boundaries are simply a way of respecting yourself, of protecting your time and energy, and of ensuring that you have enough left over to take care of your own needs. Setting boundaries isn't about putting up walls. It's about creating space for yourself within the relationships that matter. When you begin to set boundaries, you send a clear message to yourself and others that your well-being is a priority. It's an act of self-respect that says, "I matter too." The beauty of Stoic wisdom is that it's practical. It doesn't just give you lofty ideals to aspire to, it provides real, actionable steps to integrate into your daily life. By embracing this philosophy, you're not only learning to protect your energy from external demands, but you're also developing the inner resilience to handle life's challenges with grace. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of calm, knowing that you're in control of your actions and reactions. This is the gift of Stoicism, a mindset that lets you meet each situation with composure and an unwavering sense of self. What's particularly powerful about Stoic teachings is the clarity it brings to your values. So often, people-pleasing is a symptom of blurred priorities. When you're trying to satisfy everyone else, it's easy to lose sight of what you truly want, what truly matters to you. Stoicism encourages you to clarify your core beliefs and align your life with them. When you live according to your values, you build a life that feels genuine, a life where you're proud of the decisions you make. And here's the best part. Living authentically inspires others to respect and value you for who you are, not for what you do for them. As you step into this journey of self-reclamation, know that it's a gradual process. Breaking free from people-pleasing doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of small, courageous steps, learning to say no, setting boundaries, prioritizing your well-being, that gradually bring you closer to a life where you're no longer driven by the need to make everyone happy. Each time you take a step in the direction of self-respect, you'll feel a little lighter, a little more at ease in your own skin. And with each step, you'll find the strength to let go of the patterns that once held you back. Ultimately, this journey is about more than just stopping people-pleasing. It's about building a life rooted in self-respect, authenticity, and inner peace. When you stand in your truth, you not only honor yourself, but you also bring your best self into every interaction. You're able to show up for others with a fullness of spirit, rather than a sense of duty. Your relationships become more genuine, and you attract people who respect your boundaries, who appreciate you not for what you can do for them, but for who you are. This isn't just a guide, it's an invitation to reclaim the parts of yourself that may have been dimmed in the effort to please others. With Stoicism, you'll find practical tools to strengthen your self-worth, clarify your values, and set boundaries that protect your energy. You'll learn to navigate life's complexities with resilience, knowing that no matter what others expect of you, your choices are guided by a deeper sense of purpose. And as you move forward, keep this truth close. You deserve to live a life where your own needs, values, and happiness come first. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. A life lived with integrity and strength is a gift not only to yourself, but to everyone you meet along the way. So, take a breath, center yourself, and get ready to step into a new way of living. A life where your own peace and purpose take priority. A life where pleasing everyone is no longer the goal, but living authentically is. Welcome to a journey of self-respect, resilience, and a life lived on your own terms. So, we've set the stage. Now, let's dive into the realities of kindness, the side we don't often talk about. It's beautiful to care, to give, to be compassionate. But when kindness is unbalanced, when it's excessive, it can quietly start to chip away at your life in ways that are subtle yet powerful. The kindness that once seemed like your strength begins to feel more like a burden, one that can wear down your confidence, drain your energy, and over time, take you far from the life you envisioned for yourself. It's time to face this. We're going to break down how excessive kindness, when not tempered by self-respect and boundaries, can leave you vulnerable, manipulated, and disconnected from your true self. This isn't about becoming cynical or losing your warmth. It's about learning how to give wisely, how to care deeply, but with discernment, and how to ensure that your kindness doesn't come at the expense of your happiness and well-being. Let's go deeper into the ways unchecked kindness can lead you down paths you never intended. There's much to learn, and each lesson can help you build the awareness and resilience needed to be kind without losing yourself in the process. Excessive kindness, though often seen as a virtue, can cloud your ability to see reality clearly. When you prioritize being agreeable over standing your ground, it's easy to overlook signs of toxic behavior in others. You might dismiss small slights, rationalize disrespect, or excuse hurtful actions simply to keep the peace. Over time, this pattern creates a disconnect between how others treat you and what you deserve. The kindness you extend becomes a cloak that masks the real issues at hand, preventing you from confronting situations or people who undermine your self-worth. By constantly accommodating others, you teach them that your boundaries are flexible or even non-existent. This can lead to people expecting more and more from you, taking advantage of your willingness to please. You may find yourself agreeing to tasks, favors, or responsibilities that aren't yours to bear. And each time you sacrifice your needs, you reinforce a cycle where your own feelings and limits are pushed aside. Eventually, you may even start to feel invisible, like your needs are secondary or unimportant compared to others. In every interaction, balance is key. Being kind doesn't mean letting people overstep their bounds. A balanced kindness is aware of self-respect. It recognizes that no relationship, whether personal or professional, should make you feel small. With a grounded sense of kindness, you're not afraid to hold others accountable. You see through the false promises and manipulative behaviors that others might hide behind, ensuring that kindness is extended wisely and with respect for yourself. Excessive kindness often leads you to take on more emotional responsibility than you should. You might feel compelled to solve others' problems, to carry their burdens as if they were your own. This, while empathetic, can weigh heavily on your mental health, leaving you emotionally exhausted. When kindness becomes the driving force in your relationships, you may absorb the stress, anxieties, and fears of others, carrying them as though they're your responsibility. This emotional burden can feel like a constant weight, draining your energy and leaving you with little space to care for yourself. Over time, it's easy to lose sight of where your emotions end and someone else's begin. You become so invested in helping others that your own needs get neglected. The boundaries between you and the world blur, leaving you vulnerable to the emotional storms around you. Practicing selective kindness means acknowledging that you're not obligated to fix every issue or carry everyone's weight. It's a shift from feeling responsible for others' happiness to recognizing that each person is accountable for their own journey. By allowing others the space to solve their problems, you not only respect their autonomy, but also protect your own peace. In relationships, excessive kindness can morph into dependency, where your self-worth becomes tied to how much you give or how much others rely on you. While kindness should ideally come from a place of abundance, too often it becomes a way to feel valued, especially if you seek validation through approval. This pattern can lead you to bend over backward to maintain relationships, even if they're one-sided or draining. When kindness is motivated by a desire for acceptance, you risk becoming attached to the approval of others. This attachment can make you vulnerable to manipulation, as you may fear rejection if you don't constantly accommodate. The deeper this dependency grows, the more you feel pressured to sustain it. Instead of drawing strength from your inner values, you start to look outward, hoping that your efforts will be recognized, that someone will see your worth in what you give. Healthy kindness is rooted in self-assurance. When you know your worth, kindness flows naturally, without the need for validation. There's no fear of rejection, because your sense of value isn't reliant on external acceptance. Kindness then becomes an act of choice rather than compulsion, allowing you to engage in relationships that bring mutual respect and joy. Excessive kindness, especially when it involves constant giving, can lead to burnout. You might overextend yourself, taking on tasks, favors, and responsibilities until there's nothing left for you. This form of kindness is unsustainable. Eventually, the well runs dry. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, you may feel depleted, with no time or energy to recharge. Burnout from kindness is often gradual. It starts with small sacrifices, working late to help a colleague, skipping personal time to assist a friend. Each act feels manageable until, collectively, they weigh down your spirit. Suddenly, the joy of giving is replaced by resentment or fatigue. You may find yourself less patient, less enthusiastic, and unable to give the same quality of kindness you once did. To prevent burnout, kindness must include self-care. It's about understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup. The most sustainable kindness is one that honors your limits, acknowledging that your well-being is essential for meaningful giving. By caring for yourself, you're better equipped to extend kindness in a way that feels enriching, not draining. When kindness becomes excessive, it can strip away your voice. In trying to maintain harmony, you might hold back from expressing your opinions or setting boundaries, fearing that doing so would disrupt relationships. This silence, however, comes at a high cost. Each time you suppress your thoughts, you lose a bit of your authenticity, making it harder for others to know who you truly are. The habit of self-silencing can grow over time, leading to a sense of invisibility. You may start to feel that your voice doesn't matter, or that it's safer to stay quiet than to risk conflict. But without your voice, you're unable to communicate your needs, desires, and boundaries. People see the agreeable surface, unaware of the deeper self you're hiding. This creates a disconnect, where relationships are built on a version of you that doesn't reflect your true feelings. Healthy kindness is expressive and honest. It allows you to communicate openly, to assert your boundaries without fear. In being truthful, you build connections that are genuine, where both sides are seen and respected. By giving yourself permission to speak, you honor your voice as an essential part of who you are. Another subtle way excessive kindness can harm you is by creating a pattern of avoidance. You might shy away from difficult conversations, preferring to keep things nice rather than address issues head-on. But avoiding conflicts doesn't make them disappear. It only pushes them deeper, where they can grow and resurface in unexpected ways. The discomfort you were trying to avoid eventually turns into resentment, frustration, or misunderstanding. Avoidance in the name of kindness is a trap. It keeps you in a cycle where problems are never fully resolved, where boundaries are never clearly set, and where misunderstandings are allowed to fester. Over time, avoidance erodes trust, both in yourself and in your relationships. People may not see the real impact of their actions, and you, in turn, may begin to feel taken for granted. True kindness includes the courage to face difficult conversations. It's about respecting yourself enough to address issues with clarity, to bring honesty into relationships, and to stand firm when needed. This approach doesn't just preserve relationships, it strengthens them by fostering open, authentic connections. Excessive kindness can cause you to overlook your needs, prioritizing others' happiness at the expense of your own. Over time, this habit leads to neglect, where your desires and aspirations take a back seat. The life you're living starts to reflect others' needs and wishes more than your own, leaving you disconnected from what truly fulfills you. This self-neglect is cumulative. Small sacrifices here and there may feel insignificant, but over the years, they add up, creating a gap between your life and your own values. The more you ignore your needs, the harder it becomes to recognize them. You might reach a point where you no longer know what brings you joy or purpose, feeling instead that you're simply existing to meet others' expectations. A balanced kindness includes honoring your own needs. It's about creating a life where your aspirations are as important as anyone else's. By nurturing your desires, you cultivate a sense of purpose that enriches your kindness, making it an extension of your own joy rather than a duty. Finally, excessive kindness can obscure your identity. When you're constantly adapting to fit others' expectations, you risk losing touch with your sense of self. Your actions, choices, and words become tailored to keep the peace, leaving little room for your authentic personality to shine. This loss of identity isn't immediate. It's gradual, unfolding over time as you become more of what others want and less of who you truly are. Without a strong sense of identity, it's challenging to make decisions that genuinely serve you. You may feel adrift, disconnected from your values, and uncertain of what truly matters. But reclaiming your identity is possible, and it begins with understanding that kindness doesn't require self-erasure. In fact, the most powerful kindness is one that comes from a solid, authentic self. One that gives generously, but not at the cost of losing who you are. By bringing awareness to these patterns, you're already taking the first steps toward change. A grounded kindness is possible, one that lets you give wholeheartedly without losing yourself in the process. It's time to cultivate a kindness that strengthens you, one that preserves your self-respect, energy, and authenticity. This is kindness as it's meant to be, a gift both to others and to yourself. Having explored the ways excessive kindness can erode your self-worth and blur your identity, it's time to shift the focus back to you. What would it mean to live a life where your needs, goals, and inner peace come first? This is not a selfish move. It's about self-respect, balance, and choosing to live authentically. Focusing on yourself isn't about withdrawing or caring less for others. It's about recognizing that your energy, time, and resources are valuable and deserve intentional investment. This chapter is about reclaiming the energy you've often given away so freely and redirecting it toward building a life grounded in purpose, clarity, and resilience. You'll learn what it truly means to prioritize yourself, not just in words, but in actionable practices that honor your own journey. The first step in focusing on yourself involves becoming clear about what truly matters to you. It may sound simple, but knowing what you genuinely want is often clouded by external expectations, societal pressures, and the unspoken rules you've internalized over time. By identifying your core values, you create a personal foundation that guides your decisions, keeping you grounded in the face of distractions or demands from others. When you know your values, you're able to navigate life with a sense of direction that doesn't sway with every passing opinion or request. This clarity on values creates a filter through which every choice is examined. When you're clear about what matters, it becomes easier to say no to the things that don't align. This isn't a cold or indifferent no. It's a kind one, rooted in respect for both yourself and others. People may not always understand why you choose differently, but when you're focused on your own values, their understanding isn't necessary for your peace of mind. Your clarity inspires confidence, and over time, others begin to respect the boundaries that come from your sense of purpose. Another essential practice for focusing on yourself is setting intentional goals that resonate deeply with you. Goals set for external validation are fragile, easily toppled by challenges or criticism. But when your goals come from an internal drive, rooted in your authentic desires, they become a source of strength. Focusing on personal goals means allowing yourself to pursue things that bring joy, growth, and fulfillment, even if they're not understood or celebrated by others. Pursuing personal goals requires commitment, yet it also demands flexibility. Not every path you start on will lead to success or satisfaction, and that's okay. True focus on yourself means staying adaptable, recognizing when a goal no longer serves you, and adjusting your path without feeling like you've failed. This adaptability isn't a lack of focus. It's a strength that comes from self-awareness, from knowing that your journey is uniquely yours, and that sometimes changing direction is the best way forward. A vital component of self-focus is developing resilience to external judgments. When you prioritize yourself, you'll inevitably face opinions from others, some supportive, some critical. But focusing on yourself means cultivating the inner strength to hold steady, regardless of others' views. This doesn't mean you ignore feedback entirely. Rather, it means you learn to discern which input aligns with your values and goals and which doesn't. Feedback that supports your growth is valuable. Criticism that pulls you away from your true self is not. Your ability to filter judgments from others and trust your own perspective grows with practice, building a resilience that allows you to navigate life with unshakable confidence. Focusing on yourself also requires taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Your body and mind are the vessels through which you experience life, and neglecting them in pursuit of external validation or approval leads only to burnout and dissatisfaction. Taking care of yourself is foundational. It means respecting your need for rest, nourishment, and self-care. When you prioritize your health, you're not just building resilience, you're creating a foundation of strength from which everything else in your life can flourish. Self-care goes beyond occasional treats or moments of relaxation. It's about consistently nurturing habits that support your well-being. It's choosing activities that replenish your energy, like exercise, mindfulness, or creative outlets. When you care for your body and mind, you're sending yourself a message that you're worth the effort, that your well-being is as important as anyone else's. This habit of self-care strengthens your ability to give genuinely because it comes from a place of abundance, not depletion. Another critical aspect of focusing on yourself is setting boundaries that protect your time and energy. Time and energy are finite resources, and when they're spread too thin, you're left exhausted and unable to fulfill your own needs. Setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. It's about creating spaces in your life that are solely yours, free from external demands or influences. These boundaries allow you to recharge, reflect, and refocus on what truly matters. Boundaries also mean honoring your own priorities, even when others may not understand. There may be times when you need to decline invitations, step back from commitments, or simply carve out moments for solitude. Doing so without guilt or apology is an essential part of focusing on yourself. Over time, others come to respect these boundaries, understanding that your time and energy are valuable and deserve respect. These boundaries serve as a shield, protecting the space you need to grow, reflect, and thrive. Focusing on yourself also means cultivating relationships that bring mutual respect and joy. Not every relationship will support your growth, and part of focusing on yourself involves recognizing which connections are nourishing and which are draining. Building a circle of relationships that respect your values and boundaries is vital. These are the people who understand that your journey is yours, who support your growth without demanding more than you can give. Choosing relationships that align with your values doesn't mean avoiding challenging relationships entirely. It means being discerning about where you invest your energy. Healthy relationships are not about constant agreement. They're about shared respect and mutual understanding. When your connections are based on mutual support, you're free to be yourself without compromising your boundaries. This freedom allows you to bring your best self into relationships, enriching both your life and theirs. A focused life is also one that embraces solitude as a path to self-awareness. In a world filled with distractions and noise, solitude offers a quiet space where you can connect with your true self, free from the demands of others. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a space for self-discovery, a place where you can explore your thoughts, dreams, and emotions without interruption. In these moments of quiet, you're able to listen deeply to your own needs, gaining insight and clarity that guide you forward. This practice of solitude strengthens your ability to stand alone, to be at peace with your own company. When you're comfortable in solitude, you become less reliant on external validation, less swayed by others' expectations. Solitude fosters resilience, helping you develop a self-assuredness that's unwavering, a strength that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. This inner peace, cultivated in solitude, becomes a source of strength in all areas of your life. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is learning to be patient with your own growth. Focusing on yourself isn't a race. It's a journey that unfolds gradually, with setbacks, adjustments, and moments of uncertainty. Patience allows you to embrace each step of your journey, knowing that growth isn't always linear. Each experience, each choice, and even each misstep is a part of your path, contributing to a fuller, richer understanding of yourself. Patience with yourself means recognizing that change takes time. Old habits may resurface, moments of doubt may arise, but with patience, you're able to stay committed to your journey without feeling discouraged. Each small step you take in focusing on yourself builds a foundation of self-trust, reinforcing the belief that you're capable of growth and worthy of the effort. This patience cultivates a lasting resilience, a quiet confidence that sustains you in both your achievements and your challenges. Focusing on yourself means creating a life that's in harmony with your own vision. It's about building a daily routine that aligns with your values, incorporating practices that nurture your well-being, and making choices that bring you closer to your goals. Living in harmony with your vision doesn't require drastic changes. It's about making intentional decisions day by day that reflect what matters most to you. This harmony between your vision and actions creates a life that feels fulfilling, authentic, and uniquely yours. Each choice, each step, and each boundary is a reflection of the respect you hold for yourself and your journey. When you focus on yourself in this way, you're not only creating a life that fulfills you, you're also building a legacy of strength, resilience, and purpose. By choosing to focus on yourself, you're honoring your worth, creating space for your growth, and investing in a future that feels true to you. This isn't a selfish path, it's a path of self-respect, a journey toward living a life that reflects your deepest values. Focusing on yourself is an act of courage, a commitment to live authentically, and a testament to the belief that you are worthy of the life you envision. Having laid the groundwork for prioritizing yourself, now we step into a transformative space. When you embrace the teachings of Stoicism fully, life shifts. Every experience, every relationship, and every choice is filtered through a lens of resilience and clarity. What you're about to uncover is a journey of self-discovery so profound that it changes you at the core. Stoic philosophy isn't just a series of ideas. It's a way to live that leaves you unshakable in the face of life's unpredictability. Here, we explore Stoicism as a tool to reshape your perspective, strengthen your resolve, and uncover a version of yourself that is rooted, calm, and powerful. The first principle in this journey is understanding that life's circumstances don't control you. Only your response to them does. When you fully realize that your peace of mind is independent of external situations, you begin to navigate life differently. Emotions no longer control your actions because you've separated your identity from what happens around you. This level of emotional independence allows you to choose your reactions, to stay calm in the face of stress, and to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. Stoicism teaches that life is constantly changing, and trying to control everything is futile. Instead, by focusing on what you can control, your actions, thoughts, and responses, you simplify life in powerful ways. When you release the need to manage or alter what's beyond your reach, a sense of relief follows. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means investing your energy only where it's productive, in areas where you have the power to make a meaningful impact. By narrowing your focus to what's within your control, you create a life that is both efficient and deeply aligned with your values. Another cornerstone of Stoic practice is the concept of gratitude, not just for the positive aspects of life, but for all experiences, including those that bring discomfort or challenge. When you learn to see difficulties as opportunities for growth, you stop resisting life's natural flow. Every obstacle, instead of being a setback, becomes a chance to strengthen your inner character. This perspective shift fosters resilience, transforming challenges into tools for building courage, patience, and wisdom. Gratitude for all experiences, not just pleasant ones, makes your outlook richer and your resilience stronger. One of the profound shifts that Stoicism brings is the realization that you don't need external validation to find peace. When you rely on others' opinions to determine your worth, your life becomes a series of performances aimed at securing approval. However, when your sense of self comes from within, you become immune to the highs and lows of others' judgments. This inner confidence is freeing. It allows you to move through life with a quiet strength, secure in who you are. Validation from others no longer defines your happiness or self-worth, and you're able to live authentically without the need to prove anything. As you deepen your practice, the Stoic value of embracing impermanence becomes vital. Everything in life is transient: relationships, successes, possessions, and even setbacks. When you truly understand that nothing is permanent, you begin to appreciate each moment more fully without becoming attached. This sense of detachment doesn't diminish your joy. It enhances it by making every experience precious, knowing that it's fleeting. You learn to let go with grace, whether it's of things, people, or moments, because you recognize that clinging to them only creates suffering. This acceptance of life's natural flow cultivates a peace that isn't shaken by loss or change. Through Stoicism, you also learn the value of discipline, not just as a tool for productivity, but as a path to inner peace. Discipline in thought, action, and habit fosters a sense of stability that extends into every part of life. When you are disciplined, you become intentional about your choices, and your actions align with your values. Discipline frees you from impulsive behaviors and fleeting desires, replacing them with a steady focus on what truly matters. Over time, this builds a sense of self-respect and trust in your own abilities, empowering you to face any situation with confidence. Another transformative lesson in Stoicism is learning to embrace simplicity. Complexity often creates confusion and stress, while simplicity brings clarity and peace. By stripping away the unnecessary, you're left with only what truly matters. This simplicity is not just about material possessions, but also about mental clutter and emotional baggage. When you simplify your thoughts, your goals, and even your relationships, life becomes lighter, easier to navigate, and more fulfilling. With each layer of complexity you shed, you get closer to a life of calm and purpose. Practicing Stoicism means becoming a master of your own mind. Instead of letting your thoughts run unchecked, you become aware of them, observing without getting entangled. This practice of mental awareness brings immense freedom. You learn to recognize when thoughts are helpful and when they're merely noise, allowing you to let go of unnecessary worries. This mental clarity is transformative. It sharpens your focus and brings a sense of calm that is unaffected by external turbulence. The ability to observe your mind without judgment empowers you to act with intention and purpose. One of Stoicism's most liberating teachings is the idea of letting go of ego. Often, our egos drive us to pursue recognition, status, and power, creating a false sense of self-worth based on external factors. However, by quieting the ego, you become humble and grounded, able to see life clearly. Letting go of ego removes the need for comparison and competition, freeing you to live by your own values without getting distracted by what others are doing. This humility is a source of strength, as it allows you to focus on personal growth rather than on external achievements. Stoicism also encourages you to cultivate compassion, both for yourself and for others. True compassion doesn't mean overextending or sacrificing your needs, but involves understanding and accepting human nature as it is. By practicing compassion, you develop patience with yourself and others, recognizing that everyone has struggles, insecurities, and limitations. This compassionate perspective creates connections that are genuine, unburdened by judgment or unrealistic expectations. When you approach life with kindness, rooted in understanding, your relationships deepen and you find a sense of fulfillment that's both profound and enduring. As you continue on this Stoic journey, you'll discover the strength of patience. In a world that values instant gratification, patience becomes a rare and powerful quality. When you are patient, you allow things to unfold in their own time without forcing outcomes or rushing results. This patience isn't passive, it's an active trust in the process, a confidence that life will unfold as it should. Patience grants you the peace to enjoy each step of your journey without needing to reach the destination. It reminds you that growth, healing, and transformation take time, and that each moment is part of the bigger picture. Another aspect of Stoicism that reshapes your life is the power of intentionality. Living with intention means making conscious choices, not letting life happen by default. When you live intentionally, each decision aligns with your core values, bringing purpose to every action. This focus on intentionality simplifies decision-making and enhances your sense of fulfillment. You move through life with clarity, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to your true self. Intentionality becomes your compass, guiding you toward a life of authenticity and meaning. Stoicism also teaches the art of self-acceptance, embracing all parts of yourself, strengths, flaws, and everything in between, creates a foundation of inner peace. Self-acceptance is not about settling for less or avoiding growth. It's about recognizing that you are enough as you are. When you accept yourself fully, you let go of perfectionism, fear of judgment, and the need to prove yourself. This acceptance allows you to approach life with confidence, open to both challenges and joys, knowing that you have the strength to face them all. A vital part of this journey is understanding that life itself is your teacher. Every experience, whether pleasant or painful, offers wisdom. Stoicism teaches you to approach life with curiosity and an open mind, seeing each moment as an opportunity to learn and grow. This mindset transforms difficulties into lessons and mistakes into stepping stones, making your journey richer with each step. By seeing life as a continuous learning process, you develop resilience and a sense of wonder that keeps you engaged, no matter what challenges arise. Stoicism brings the gift of contentment. True contentment doesn't come from external achievements, but from a deep-seated peace with where you are in life. When you're content, you're no longer chasing after fleeting desires or constantly seeking more. This doesn't mean complacency. It means finding joy in the present moment, appreciating what you have, and being grateful for each experience. Contentment is a quiet strength, a reminder that happiness is not a destination, but a way of being. Each of these Stoic principles builds upon the last, creating a life that is both purposeful and resilient. As you integrate these teachings, you'll find that you are no longer the person who is easily swayed by circumstances, opinions, or fleeting desires. You are grounded, calm, and deeply connected to your true self. This transformation is lasting, a shift that aligns you with a life of balance, inner peace, and quiet strength. You are now equipped not just to face life, but to thrive in it, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Having explored the transformational power of Stoicism in creating a life rooted in purpose, resilience, and self-respect, let's turn our attention to the boundaries that protect this foundation. Stoic philosophy teaches that while inner strength and self-mastery are essential, part of this mastery is knowing what behaviors you won't allow to encroach on your peace and self-worth. Life inevitably brings us into contact with individuals who may test our boundaries, push our limits, or drain our energy. Understanding which behaviors you shouldn't tolerate is as essential as learning to cultivate inner strength. This isn't about building walls or becoming detached. It's about knowing where to draw the line to preserve your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Tolerating certain behaviors, even subtly, can erode your self-respect and dilute your inner peace over time. Let's delve into the types of actions and attitudes that, when unchecked, compromise your integrity and sense of self. The first behavior you should never tolerate is disrespect. Disrespect can take many forms: rude comments, dismissive attitudes, belittling gestures. Each time you allow these to go unaddressed, they chip away at your self-worth. Accepting disrespect subtly signals to others that you are willing to absorb their negativity or that your dignity is optional. Stoicism encourages respect both for oneself and for others, meaning that when disrespect arises, you don't have to respond with anger, but you do have the right to firmly set a boundary. Recognizing and addressing disrespect reinforces your own sense of value and serves as a reminder to others that your dignity is non-negotiable. A lack of honesty is another behavior that disrupts any relationship, personal or professional. When someone is dishonest, whether through outright lies or subtle manipulation, it creates a foundation of mistrust. Relationships grounded in dishonesty require constant vigilance and suspicion, which drains emotional energy and leads to anxiety. You deserve relationships where transparency and honesty are mutual priorities. Stoicism emphasizes truthfulness as a virtue because it brings clarity and trust. If you consistently encounter dishonesty, it may be a sign that the relationship or interaction is not aligned with your values. Addressing dishonesty allows you to maintain relationships built on trust, which support rather than strain your emotional well-being. Manipulation is another harmful behavior that undermines trust and respect. Manipulative individuals often use guilt, flattery, or fear to control others, leaving you feeling trapped or doubting your own decisions. Tolerating manipulation is damaging because it encourages others to continue these patterns, exploiting your good nature or willingness to help. Recognizing manipulation early and setting clear boundaries helps preserve your autonomy and sense of self. By refusing to be swayed by guilt or pressure, you communicate that your choices come from within, not from external coercion. This stance not only protects you from manipulation, but also reinforces your integrity, showing that you value honesty and transparency. One of the most subtle yet damaging behaviors to avoid tolerating is chronic negativity. While everyone has difficult days, there's a difference between occasional venting and a constant pattern of negativity. Being around people who consistently focus on what's wrong, who criticize without offering solutions, or who always see the glass as half empty, can gradually wear down your own positive outlook. Chronic negativity has a way of seeping into your thoughts, dimming your sense of optimism. Setting boundaries with those who are persistently negative is not about rejecting them, it's about protecting your own mental space. By surrounding yourself with individuals who encourage and uplift, you foster an environment that supports your growth and inner peace. Entitlement is another behavior that deserves attention. People who feel entitled often expect special treatment, assume they deserve more than others, or disregard boundaries in pursuit of their own interests. Tolerating entitlement can lead to resentment, as these individuals often take without considering your needs or limitations. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our shared humanity, which includes respecting others' rights and contributions. When you encounter entitlement, setting firm boundaries protects your energy and time, reminding the other person that mutual respect is essential. It's an act of self-respect to say no to entitled behavior, reinforcing that your resources are not theirs to take advantage of. An unwillingness to accept responsibility is another toxic behavior to be mindful of. People who refuse to acknowledge their role in conflicts, mistakes, or misunderstandings tend to shift blame onto others, leaving you feeling burdened by issues you didn't create. This avoidance of responsibility creates a one-sided relationship where you are often left carrying the emotional load. Stoicism values accountability as a key virtue because it fosters growth and self-improvement. Refusing to tolerate blame shifting and avoidance encourages mutual accountability in relationships. By holding others to this standard, you protect yourself from unnecessary emotional burdens and create a foundation of mutual respect. Excessive judgment or criticism is another behavior that can deeply affect your sense of peace. Individuals who are quick to judge or frequently criticize often project their insecurities or unresolved issues onto others. Constant exposure to judgmental attitudes can cause self-doubt, erode confidence, and make you second-guess your actions. Stoicism encourages self-awareness and growth, but it doesn't support constant criticism without constructive purpose. Setting boundaries with overly critical people helps you preserve your self-esteem and maintain a positive self-view. You deserve interactions that build you up, not ones that constantly tear you down. Emotional manipulation through guilt-tripping is a behavior that shouldn't be tolerated. Some people use guilt as a tool to control, making you feel responsible for their happiness, well-being, or decisions. This form of manipulation places an undue burden on you, trapping you in a cycle where your actions are driven by guilt rather than choice. Guilt tripping is often subtle but powerful as it targets your empathy and kindness. Recognizing guilt as a manipulative tactic helps you reclaim your agency, allowing you to make decisions based on your values rather than external pressures. This reinforces your autonomy and ensures that your actions are genuine and not coerced. By recognizing and refusing to tolerate these behaviors, you create a life that is more peaceful, balanced, and aligned with your values. Each boundary you set reinforces the respect you have for yourself, making it clear to others that you will not compromise your well-being. In doing so, you not only protect your own peace, but also set an example for how relationships should be built on respect, trust, and mutual understanding. Stoicism reminds us that boundaries are not barriers, but essential protections for the life we want to live. Through these choices, you become stronger, more resilient, and deeply connected to a life that reflects your worth. Having established the boundaries of what you will not accept from others, let's now focus on building a presence that leaves a lasting impact. Imagine a life where people are drawn to you, where they remember your words, admire your poise, and respect your strength. This isn't about superficial popularity or manipulation. Rather, it's about embodying Stoic principles so deeply that your energy naturally influences those around you. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, you can develop qualities that make you unforgettable, qualities that inspire others to reflect on you, learn from you, and respect you in ways that go beyond fleeting attention. The first step in creating a lasting impression lies in mastering your emotions. When you remain calm and centered, especially in challenging situations, people notice. In a world where reactions are often immediate and intense, your calm presence becomes a rarity that others are drawn to. Emotional mastery means you don't let anger, frustration, or anxiety control your actions. Instead, you cultivate a steady demeanor, one that people find reassuring. When they see that you're not easily rattled, they begin to see you as a source of stability. This quiet strength, a core teaching of Stoicism, creates an aura of respect that lingers in people's minds long after your interactions with them end. An essential component of making an impression is the art of deep listening. In a world full of noise, where most people are eager to speak but not as willing to listen, the ability to give someone your full attention is rare and powerful. When you listen without interrupting, without planning your response, you create a space where others feel genuinely heard and understood. This doesn't mean simply hearing words, but truly connecting with the speaker's emotions and intentions. By offering this level of presence, you become memorable to people because they feel valued in your presence. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from understanding, and understanding begins with listening. When you give others this gift, you leave a profound impact, one that keeps you in their thoughts. Another Stoic skill that captivates others is authenticity. People are often drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves, those who live in alignment with their values. Authenticity requires a deep understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and the courage to live by these principles without wavering. When you embody authenticity, others are intrigued by your sincerity and confidence. In a world filled with facades, your willingness to be real makes you memorable. People trust you, not because you seek approval, but because you embody your truth in every interaction. Authenticity naturally attracts respect, admiration, and curiosity, because it's a rare quality that stands out amid superficiality. Developing a strong sense of purpose is another way to leave a lasting impression. People are drawn to those who have a clear direction, who know what they want, and who pursue their goals with quiet determination. Stoicism emphasizes purpose as a guiding force, a reason for being that gives meaning to every action. When you have purpose, your actions are intentional and your decisions reflect a bigger picture. This sense of purpose radiates from you, inspiring others. They see your commitment, your resilience, and your dedication, and they're reminded of their own aspirations. Your purpose-driven life becomes a silent motivator, leaving others to ponder your strength and clarity long after you're gone. Self-discipline is another powerful Stoic skill that makes a lasting impression. Discipline isn't just about following rules, it's about having control over your impulses, desires, and actions. People respect those who are consistent, who show up with the same dedication, regardless of the circumstances. When you demonstrate self-discipline, you communicate that you value your goals and are willing to put in the effort to achieve them. This dedication to discipline inspires admiration because it's a quality that reflects integrity. Others are naturally drawn to your reliability, knowing that your words and actions are consistent. This trustworthiness is unforgettable, as people value those who hold themselves accountable and keep their promises. Gratitude, practiced with sincerity, also leaves a deep impression on others. Stoicism teaches that gratitude isn't just a reaction to good things. It's a way of viewing the world, appreciating every experience as a part of life's journey. When you live with gratitude, you bring a warm, positive energy to your interactions. People remember the way you express appreciation, not only for grand gestures, but for small moments, kindnesses, and even challenges. This gratitude reflects a balanced, grounded nature, one that makes others feel valued in your presence. By appreciating life's richness, you inspire others to adopt a similar outlook, creating a ripple effect that makes your presence unforgettable. Embracing humility is another Stoic quality that captivates people. Humility doesn't mean undervaluing yourself. It means recognizing that there is always more to learn and that you are no greater than anyone else. People are naturally drawn to those who don't boast or seek praise, but simply let their actions speak. When you approach life with humility, you demonstrate a quiet confidence that resonates with others. They see that you're not driven by ego, but by a genuine desire for growth and contribution. This humility makes you approachable and trustworthy, allowing others to connect with you on a deeper level and to think of you as someone grounded and wise. Empathy, rooted in Stoic compassion, is another quality that leaves an enduring impact. Empathy is the ability to understand and share in others' feelings, to see life from their perspective. Stoicism teaches that while we can't control others, we can seek to understand them. When you practice empathy, you create connections that are real and meaningful. People remember the way you make them feel understood and respected. Empathy builds bridges where differences might otherwise divide, creating bonds that are lasting and significant. This compassion makes others think of you long after your conversations have ended, as they remember how valued they felt in your presence. Another remarkable quality is resilience. Life inevitably brings challenges, but Stoicism teaches that it's how we respond to adversity that defines us. When others see you facing hardships with grace, courage, and calm, they remember you. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or struggle. It's about moving through it with dignity. People admire those who can endure difficult times without losing hope, those who rise above adversity with a sense of purpose. This strength in the face of hardship resonates with others, as it serves as a reminder of their own capacity for resilience. Your ability to stay composed, to keep going despite obstacles, leaves a lasting impression. Learning to let go of the need for control is another Stoic practice that deeply influences others. When you show that you can accept life as it unfolds, without forcing or resisting outcomes, people are drawn to your sense of peace. Control is an illusion, and those who recognize this often have a calm, balanced demeanor. By letting go, you show that you trust the flow of life, that you don't need to manipulate situations to find peace. This acceptance creates an aura of tranquility around you, which others find soothing and inspiring. They remember your calmness in the face of uncertainty and think of you as a source of stability and wisdom. Kindness, when practiced with discernment, is one of the most impactful qualities you can embody. Stoic kindness is rooted in strength, a compassion that isn't about seeking approval, but about genuinely wishing well for others. People remember acts of kindness, especially when they come from a place of authenticity. Kindness, when it's not performative but deeply felt, leaves a profound mark on others. They remember your warmth, your willingness to help, and your respect for their dignity. Kindness creates memories that people carry with them, often long after the moment has passed. The art of living in the present, a core Stoic principle, is another quality that people find captivating. When you're fully present, not distracted by worries or caught up in regrets. You give others the gift of your undivided attention. In a world full of distractions, your presence stands out. People feel valued when they sense that you're truly with them in each moment. This presence, this ability to engage fully without pretense or impatience, creates memories that stay with others. They remember your calm, your attentiveness, and your ability to appreciate the moment without rushing. Each of these Stoic qualities, emotional mastery, deep listening, authenticity, purpose, self-discipline, gratitude, humility, empathy, resilience, acceptance, kindness, and presence, creates a legacy that lives on in the minds and hearts of those you meet. These are not skills for manipulation or tactics to become popular. They are expressions of a life well lived, one that touches others deeply and leaves them reflecting on your impact. By embodying these traits, you don't just become unforgettable, you inspire others to reach for their own highest potential, creating ripples of influence that extend far beyond yourself. Through Stoic principles, you cultivate a character so rooted in integrity and strength that people naturally think of you, drawn by the lasting impression you leave in every interaction. As we deepen our understanding of Stoic principles, we come to an essential truth. Not everyone we encounter will uplift or respect our path. Some individuals, whether intentionally or not, drain our energy, test our patience, and undermine our well-being. These toxic influences can distract us from our goals, cloud our peace of mind, and even pull us away from the values we hold dear. The wisdom of Stoicism offers us tools to recognize these patterns, to guard our energy, and to remain steadfast in our purpose without succumbing to negativity. The first principle for protecting your energy from toxic people is maintaining emotional detachment. In any situation, it's easy to get pulled into others' moods, opinions, or provocations. When someone criticizes or belittles, our instinct might be to defend ourselves or prove them wrong, which only fuels the interaction. Emotional detachment, however, empowers you to observe without absorbing. When you detach, you recognize that others' negativity or aggression reflects their inner state, not your value. You become an observer rather than a participant in their emotional chaos. This perspective allows you to protect your peace and avoid unnecessary conflict, freeing you from the emotional weight others may try to place on you. Setting boundaries is another fundamental Stoic principle for preserving your energy. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about honoring your limits and creating a space where you can thrive without constant interruptions or demands. Toxic people often ignore boundaries, seeking to draw you into their problems, drama, or needs. By clearly defining your limits, you communicate what behaviors you won't accept. This might mean limiting interactions, declining to engage in certain conversations, or deciding not to share personal information with certain individuals. Boundaries empower you to remain centered, knowing that your time and energy are yours to manage. The beauty of boundaries is that they respect both your well-being and the other person's autonomy, allowing each person to take responsibility for their own lives. Another principle to protect yourself from toxic influences is cultivating inner resilience. Toxic individuals may try to manipulate, criticize, or challenge your self-worth. Developing a strong inner foundation means you are not easily swayed by others' opinions or judgments. Resilience helps you stay rooted in your values and truth, even when others attempt to pull you off course. When you build resilience, you can handle negativity with grace, seeing it as external noise rather than a reflection of your worth. Inner strength is like a shield. It allows you to engage with the world without losing yourself in others' perceptions. This groundedness becomes a buffer, making it clear that no one's words or actions can undermine the confidence you've cultivated within. Practicing selective engagement is another powerful way to safeguard your energy. Not every interaction requires a response, and not every conflict needs resolution. Toxic people often thrive on reactions, using them as fuel to continue their behavior. By choosing when and how to engage, you control where your energy flows. This means being intentional about your responses, choosing to address issues only when they are meaningful or constructive. When you engage only where necessary, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. Selective engagement isn't avoidance. It's a conscious choice to focus on interactions that align with your peace and purpose, allowing trivial negativity to fade away without impact. Another Stoic practice for maintaining energy around toxic people is embracing non-attachment to outcomes. Toxic individuals often try to control or manipulate outcomes to serve their interests, creating pressure or stress for those around them. When you practice non-attachment, you release the need for specific results, whether it's others' approval or the resolution of a conflict. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your goals or relationships. Rather, you let go of the expectation that you must control or manage others' reactions. Non-attachment frees you from the frustration of unmet expectations, allowing you to focus on your own actions and intentions. By letting go of the need to control outcomes, you reclaim your peace and let toxic dynamics pass by without clinging to them. Remaining grounded in gratitude is another Stoic approach that fortifies your energy. Toxic people often focus on complaints, grievances, or negativity, creating a draining atmosphere. By cultivating gratitude, you shift your focus away from what's lacking or negative and towards the abundance in your life. Gratitude centers you, reminding you of what is good, positive, and worth celebrating. This mindset acts as a counterbalance to the pessimism that toxic individuals may bring, enabling you to remain joyful and hopeful. Gratitude doesn't just lift your spirits, it shields your energy from the pull of negativity, reinforcing your inner peace and allowing you to interact with others without being weighed down by their outlook. Stoicism teaches the value of acceptance and letting go. Toxic people may never change, no matter how much you wish they would or how much effort you put into the relationship. Accepting people as they are doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means acknowledging that some things are beyond your control. By releasing the desire to fix or change others, you free yourself from frustration and disappointment. Acceptance is a form of liberation. It allows you to detach from toxic patterns and focus on your own journey. This principle reminds you that the only person you can truly influence is yourself. By accepting this truth, you allow yourself to move forward without the weight of trying to alter others, preserving your energy for your own growth and well-being. Each of these Stoic principles, emotional detachment, setting boundaries, building resilience, practicing selective engagement, embracing non-attachment, cultivating gratitude, and accepting what you cannot change, serves as a powerful tool to protect your energy. In practicing them, you create a life that is resilient, peaceful, and fortified against the influence of toxicity. You are not closing yourself off from the world, but choosing to navigate it with wisdom and strength. Through these practices, you safeguard your inner calm, allowing you to live with clarity and purpose, untouched by negativity and fully aligned with your true self. Having equipped ourselves with Stoic tools to shield our energy from toxic influences, we turn now to an equally vital skill, learning to balance kindness with self-respect. It's common to feel that being overly accommodating or endlessly agreeable will lead to peace and harmony in relationships. Yet, without boundaries, kindness can easily transform into self-sacrifice, leaving us feeling drained, unappreciated, and even resentful. Stoicism offers powerful insights into how we can be genuinely kind without compromising our own needs. The first step to overcoming excessive niceness is to understand the purpose of boundaries. Boundaries aren't about withholding kindness. They're about defining what you need to feel respected, balanced, and at peace. When you clarify these needs, you begin to realize that boundaries are not restrictions on kindness. They're a framework that allows you to give without losing yourself. Establishing these personal limits helps you engage with others from a place of strength, not obligation. By valuing your own needs, you make kindness a conscious choice, not something given out of guilt or fear of disappointing others. An essential part of setting boundaries is learning to say no without guilt. People often struggle with saying no because they fear judgment, rejection, or conflict. However, Stoicism teaches us that our value isn't based on others' opinions, but on our alignment with our principles. When you decline requests that don't serve you, you're not being unkind. You're honoring your values and protecting your time. Saying no becomes an act of self-respect, reminding you that your energy is valuable. Over time, others will begin to respect these boundaries as well, understanding that you are thoughtful about where and how you invest your energy. Building assertiveness is another crucial aspect of setting boundaries. Assertiveness doesn't mean aggression or harshness. It's about expressing your needs clearly and calmly. When you're assertive, you communicate your boundaries without apology, making it clear that your needs are legitimate. Stoicism encourages us to speak truthfully and with integrity, knowing that our words reflect our inner values. Assertiveness lets you show kindness from a place of confidence, not from a desire to be liked or accepted. This confidence changes the dynamics in your relationships as people recognize and respect your self-assured approach. To stop being overly nice, it's also essential to break free from the habit of people-pleasing. People-pleasing stems from a fear of rejection or a need for validation, driving you to put others' needs ahead of your own. Stoic philosophy teaches that true peace comes from within, not from the approval of others. When you no longer feel the need to please everyone, you're able to make choices based on your values rather than on external pressures. Breaking this habit allows you to engage in relationships authentically, where kindness is offered freely, not out of fear or obligation. As a result, your interactions become more fulfilling, grounded in mutual respect rather than silent resentment. Understanding the difference between kindness and being overly accommodating is another essential step. Kindness is a generous expression of goodwill. It respects both your needs and the needs of others. Over-accommodation, however, neglects your own boundaries in favor of others' comfort or approval. When you recognize this difference, you start to see that true kindness doesn't require you to overextend yourself. Stoicism reminds us to act with purpose, meaning that each act of kindness should come from intention, not from a need to please. This distinction allows you to give genuinely without losing sight of your own well-being. Self-reflection is also a powerful Stoic tool in breaking the cycle of excessive niceness. Regularly evaluating your motives helps you understand why you may feel compelled to overextend yourself. Are you acting out of genuine compassion, or are you driven by a fear of rejection or conflict? By examining these motives honestly, you gain insight into your patterns and can begin to replace fear-based habits with intentional kindness. Reflection builds self-awareness, a cornerstone of Stoic practice, allowing you to approach each relationship with clarity and purpose. Another key aspect of setting boundaries is learning to handle others' reactions with equanimity. Not everyone will appreciate or understand your boundaries, and some may even push against them. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and composed, knowing that we cannot control others' reactions, only our own responses. When you hold firm to your boundaries despite external resistance, you reinforce your self-respect and demonstrate that your needs are non-negotiable. This composure becomes a testament to your strength, showing others that your kindness does not come at the expense of your dignity. Setting boundaries also requires trusting your intuition. Often, your instincts will signal when something doesn't feel right or when a line is being crossed. Listening to these signals without doubting or dismissing them is essential for protecting your peace. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of inner wisdom, trusting your own understanding of what feels healthy and respectful. By paying attention to your instincts, you can act preemptively to set boundaries before resentment builds up. This inner trust reinforces your connection to yourself, empowering you to navigate relationships with confidence and authenticity. Focusing on reciprocity is another principle that helps in balancing kindness and boundaries. Healthy relationships are mutual, with both parties giving and receiving support. When you're overly nice without boundaries, you risk creating imbalances where you give more than you receive. Stoicism values fairness and integrity, reminding us that relationships should be built on mutual respect and support. By ensuring reciprocity in your relationships, you protect yourself from one-sided dynamics that drain your energy. This approach doesn't mean keeping score. It's about nurturing connections where both individuals are invested in each other's well-being. Developing a sense of inner worth is crucial in setting boundaries confidently. When you rely on external validation, you may feel compelled to overgive to prove your value. However, Stoicism teaches that worth comes from within, from living in alignment with your principles. Recognizing your inherent value frees you from the need to constantly accommodate others to feel accepted. You begin to understand that your kindness is a reflection of your character, not a currency for approval. This shift in perspective allows you to set boundaries from a place of confidence, knowing that you're already complete as you are. Prioritizing self-care is another important aspect of managing boundaries. Self-care is not selfish. It's a way to ensure that you have the energy and emotional resources to engage meaningfully with others. Stoic practice values balance, understanding that overextending yourself ultimately benefits no one. By setting aside time to rest, reflect, and recharge, you maintain the resilience needed to engage kindly without depleting yourself. Self-care strengthens your ability to be present, making your kindness more impactful and sustainable. This investment in yourself becomes a foundation upon which all your relationships can thrive. Another powerful principle in overcoming excessive niceness is the practice of mindful communication. Mindful communication means expressing your boundaries with clarity, calmness, and respect. Stoicism emphasizes wisdom in speech, suggesting that words should be thoughtful and intentional. When you communicate your limits without anger or defensiveness, you create an environment where others feel respected even as you assert your needs. This approach fosters open, honest interactions where boundaries are not seen as barriers but as expressions of self-respect. Mindful communication helps others understand your perspective, leading to healthier, more respectful connections. The ability to detach from outcomes is also essential when setting boundaries. Some people may respond positively to your boundaries, while others may react with resistance or frustration. Stoicism teaches that your peace should not depend on others' reactions, but on your own alignment with your principles. When you detach from the need for specific outcomes, you protect yourself from the emotional impact of negative responses. This detachment allows you to uphold your boundaries without wavering, knowing that you're acting in accordance with your values, regardless of how others react. This resilience reinforces your self-trust and strengthens your resolve. Embracing the discomfort that may come with boundary setting is crucial. Initially, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're accustomed to overgiving. Yet, Stoicism encourages us to face discomfort as a pathway to growth. By leaning into this discomfort, you break free from old patterns and create space for healthier relationships. Each boundary set, each moment of asserting your needs, builds your confidence and sense of self-respect. Over time, the discomfort fades, replaced by a sense of empowerment and peace. Through these practices, understanding boundaries, saying no without guilt, building assertiveness, releasing people-pleasing, distinguishing kindness from over-accommodation, self-reflection, handling reactions calmly, trusting intuition, focusing on reciprocity, recognizing inner worth, prioritizing self-care, communicating mindfully, detaching from outcomes, and embracing discomfort. You create a life where kindness and self-respect coexist. Stoic wisdom guides you to a balanced life, where your kindness is a strength, not a weakness, and your boundaries protect the peace you've worked so hard to build. In honoring yourself through boundaries, you create a space where both you and those around you can flourish. Having explored the importance of boundaries and balancing kindness with self-respect, let's move now to an even deeper foundation: inner strength. True self-reliance begins with developing a core of resilience, confidence, and self-trust that sustains you through life's inevitable challenges. Building inner strength is not about isolating yourself from others. It's about creating a foundation so strong that you remain grounded and steady no matter what the world throws at you. This journey towards inner strength is one of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism, helping you cultivate a mindset that thrives independently of external circumstances. The first step in developing inner strength is cultivating self-awareness. When you understand your thoughts, emotions, and motivations, you gain clarity on what drives you, what triggers you, and what truly matters to you. Self-awareness empowers you to make decisions that align with your values, even under pressure. This ability to observe yourself without judgment builds a foundation of inner trust. It lets you rely on your own judgment, knowing that you act from a place of integrity. Through regular self-reflection, you deepen this understanding, creating a steady sense of self that remains unshaken by external opinions or circumstances. Another core aspect of inner strength is accepting responsibility for your life. Taking full ownership of your actions, choices, and responses is liberating because it places control back in your hands. When you stop blaming circumstances or others, you reclaim your power. Accepting responsibility doesn't mean burdening yourself with guilt. It means recognizing that your response to life is yours to shape. This mindset fosters resilience, as you no longer wait for others to change or for situations to improve. You create your own path forward. Through responsibility, you build a self-reliant attitude that is essential for true independence and strength. Embracing discomfort is another Stoic practice that fortifies inner strength. Life inevitably includes challenges, uncertainties, and moments of pain. Rather than avoiding discomfort, Stoicism teaches us to face it head-on, understanding that resilience grows through experience. Each time you confront a difficulty instead of fleeing from it, you strengthen your ability to handle adversity. This approach cultivates mental toughness, as you realize that discomfort is temporary and often a path to growth. By embracing challenges, you develop the courage to pursue your goals without fear, knowing that even setbacks are part of the journey towards a stronger self. Practicing self-discipline is another powerful way to rely on yourself. Discipline builds consistency, a steady commitment to your values and goals that isn't easily disrupted by fleeting desires or distractions. When you practice discipline, you prove to yourself that you can follow through on your intentions, even when motivation fades. This consistency deepens self-trust because you know that your actions align with your aspirations. Over time, discipline creates a solid foundation, making you less susceptible to external influences and more capable of maintaining focus on what truly matters. Developing emotional resilience is also crucial to inner strength. Emotional resilience doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means learning to process them without letting them control you. When you experience sadness, anger, or fear, Stoicism encourages you to observe these emotions, understand their source, and respond rather than react. Emotional resilience allows you to navigate difficult situations with a calm, steady presence. This ability to stay composed builds confidence, as you know you can face life's challenges without being overwhelmed. Emotional resilience is a strength that fosters self-reliance as you become your own anchor, grounding yourself regardless of external storms. Learning to let go of the need for external validation is another powerful step in building inner strength. When you rely on others' approval, your self-worth becomes dependent on their opinions, leaving you vulnerable to rejection or criticism. Stoicism teaches that your value is intrinsic, not something given or taken by others. When you let go of the need for validation, you free yourself to act authentically, based on your own principles. This independence from external approval is liberating, allowing you to pursue your path with confidence, unburdened by the need to fit others' expectations. In valuing your own perspective, you cultivate a self-reliant mindset that is both peaceful and resilient. Practicing gratitude is another Stoic principle that strengthens your inner core. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, reminding you of the abundance already in your life. This mindset brings a sense of contentment that isn't dependent on external achievements. When you practice gratitude, you create a stable foundation of happiness within, one that doesn't waver with changing circumstances. Gratitude makes you resilient to disappointments, as you're able to appreciate the present moment rather than constantly seeking more. This inner contentment reinforces your self-reliance, showing you that happiness is something you create, not something you find outside yourself. Developing a daily practice of mindfulness also builds inner strength. Mindfulness involves observing your thoughts and actions without getting swept away by them. By practicing mindfulness, you gain control over your reactions, learning to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This mental clarity allows you to make choices that align with your values, even under stress. Mindfulness helps you maintain a balanced perspective, reminding you to stay present rather than being consumed by regrets or anxieties. This practice creates a calm inner space, a sanctuary you can rely on regardless of external events. Through mindfulness, you develop the focus and patience that are essential for inner strength. Forging a sense of purpose is another fundamental way to build inner strength. Purpose gives meaning to your actions, a reason that drives you forward even when challenges arise. When you have a clear sense of purpose, you become resilient to setbacks because you see them as steps on your journey rather than obstacles. Purpose aligns your choices with your deepest values, giving you direction and motivation. This clarity creates a strong sense of self, as you know where you're headed and why. Purposeful living fosters self-reliance because it empowers you to rely on your vision rather than on fleeting external circumstances. Cultivating patience with yourself is crucial to building inner strength. Personal growth isn't a linear path, and setbacks are inevitable. Stoicism teaches that patience is a strength, allowing you to progress steadily without being discouraged by temporary challenges. When you're patient with yourself, you approach each step of your journey with acceptance, understanding that growth takes time. This patience builds resilience as you're able to face difficulties without losing confidence in your progress. By treating yourself with compassion, you reinforce self-trust, knowing that your commitment to growth remains firm, regardless of pace or setbacks. Through these practices, self-awareness, responsibility, embracing discomfort, self-discipline, emotional resilience, independence from validation, gratitude, mindfulness, purpose, and patience, you create a reservoir of inner strength that is unshakable. Stoicism guides you towards a self-reliant mindset where you trust your abilities, value your journey, and remain grounded in the face of life's uncertainties. This foundation of inner strength empowers you to navigate life with confidence, resilience, and peace, knowing that you can rely on yourself no matter what. Having explored the pillars of inner strength and self-reliance, we now come to a vital aspect of living authentically, letting go of guilt when you prioritize yourself. It's a feeling many struggle with, shaped by societal expectations, personal insecurities, or the belief that putting yourself first somehow diminishes the care you offer others. But Stoicism teaches us that self-respect and self-prioritization are not acts of selfishness. They are essential for living a balanced and fulfilled life. When you place your well-being at the center, you create a solid foundation that not only supports you, but allows you to give to others more genuinely and sustainably. One of the first steps in releasing guilt is recognizing that you are responsible for your own well-being. No one else can fully know or fulfill your needs, which means that prioritizing them isn't just necessary, it's the only path to true self-respect. By placing your needs in the foreground, you take ownership of your life rather than waiting for validation or care from others. This sense of responsibility allows you to make choices based on what you truly need, not on others' expectations. When you start to view self-prioritization as an act of personal accountability, guilt naturally fades, replaced by a sense of duty to yourself. Another critical part of moving past guilt is understanding that self-care is essential, not indulgent. There's a misconception that prioritizing yourself equates to selfishness, but Stoicism teaches that to serve others effectively, you must first ensure that you are well. If you're constantly sacrificing your energy, time, and well-being for others, you eventually deplete yourself, becoming less capable of supporting them. Viewing self-care as a foundation for your ability to engage fully in life and with others reminds you that caring for yourself isn't an option, it's a necessity. By reframing self-care in this way, you realize that nurturing your health and peace enables you to be the best version of yourself for everyone in your life. Learning to set boundaries without apology is also essential to overcoming guilt. Boundaries are a way of protecting your energy and mental well-being, yet many feel hesitant to set them for fear of disappointing others. Stoicism, however, reminds us that our peace isn't dependent on others' reactions, but on our alignment with our values. When you establish boundaries, you're not rejecting others, you're simply prioritizing what is healthy for you. These limits serve as a reminder that while kindness is important, it shouldn't come at the expense of your well-being. Boundaries create a balanced life where you can give to others without depleting yourself. It's also vital to let go of the need to justify every decision you make for your own well-being. Often, guilt arises because we feel compelled to explain our choices to others, hoping for approval or understanding. But Stoicism teaches that your actions need only align with your values and needs. Others' validation is not required. By freeing yourself from this need for external justification, you embrace a new level of self-trust. Making choices without seeking approval from others strengthens your confidence, helping you release any residual guilt. This self-assuredness is key to making empowered decisions that reflect your true self. Developing compassion for yourself is another powerful tool for easing guilt. Many people find it easier to be compassionate towards others than towards themselves. Feeling guilt if they focus on their own needs. But Stoicism reminds us that compassion begins at home. By treating yourself with the same understanding and kindness you offer others, you cultivate an inner peace that is unburdened by guilt. This self-compassion allows you to recognize that prioritizing yourself doesn't diminish your empathy for others. It actually enhances it by grounding you in a place of balance. Compassionate self-care reinforces the understanding that your well-being is as important as anyone else's. Another step in moving beyond guilt is accepting that saying no is a healthy and necessary act. Guilt often arises from a sense that you should always be available, always willing to help. However, by saying no when necessary, you prevent burnout and ensure that when you do engage, it's from a place of fullness, not exhaustion. Stoicism teaches that we have limited energy, and part of living wisely is learning where to invest it. Saying no isn't an act of rejection, it's a commitment to maintaining your vitality. As you practice saying no, you begin to see it as an act of self-respect, reinforcing that your well-being deserves priority. Reflecting on the value of your time is another Stoic approach to prioritizing yourself without guilt. Time is your most finite resource, and once it's spent, it can't be regained. When you give away your time without thought, you compromise your own needs and potential. By treating your time as precious, you make decisions that honor your life and aspirations. Understanding the value of your time helps you feel justified in setting limits on how much of it you give away. This perspective enables you to allocate time to yourself without guilt, knowing that honoring your time is a crucial part of honoring yourself. Releasing the idea that you are responsible for everyone's happiness is also essential. Many people feel guilty because they believe their actions must always ensure others are comfortable, content, or pleased. But Stoicism teaches that each person is responsible for their own emotions and reactions. When you internalize this, you begin to understand that you don't need to sacrifice your well-being for others' comfort. Recognizing that everyone has control over their own happiness allows you to prioritize yourself without feeling that you're letting anyone down. This understanding helps dissolve guilt, as you see that taking care of yourself isn't neglecting others' happiness. It's respecting the autonomy of each individual. Practicing gratitude for your own journey also helps alleviate guilt. Gratitude shifts your focus from what others might expect of you to what you appreciate in your own life. By acknowledging your growth, strengths, and needs, you affirm that your life is valuable and deserving of care. Gratitude reinforces the idea that prioritizing yourself is an act of respect for the life you're given. This mindset cultivates a sense of fulfillment that makes it easier to prioritize yourself without feeling guilty. Gratitude shifts your attention to the richness of your own experiences, helping you let go of any lingering feelings that self-prioritization is selfish. Cultivating a sense of purpose helps you move beyond guilt. When you understand your purpose, you become focused on living in alignment with it. Prioritizing yourself becomes an essential part of fulfilling that purpose, as it requires you to be at your best. This clarity allows you to see self-prioritization as part of your broader mission, not a diversion from it. Purpose gives your actions depth and direction, making it easier to make choices that reflect your true path. As you align with your purpose, guilt fades, replaced by a sense of conviction that you are living authentically. Through these practices, embracing responsibility for your well-being, understanding the necessity of self-care, setting boundaries, releasing the need for justification, developing self-compassion, learning to say no, valuing your time, recognizing individual responsibility for happiness, practicing gratitude, and aligning with purpose, you create a life where prioritizing yourself feels natural, not selfish. Stoicism teaches that caring for yourself isn't an act of exclusion, it's an act of respect for your life. By letting go of guilt, you create a balanced life, one where you give freely because you are grounded in your own worth. Through this journey, you come to see that self-prioritization is the cornerstone of a life lived with integrity, resilience, and peace. With a foundation of self-care and a firm understanding of your worth, it's time to focus on one of the most powerful words in maintaining this balance: no. For many, saying no feels uncomfortable, often bringing up feelings of guilt, fear of disappointing others, or the worry of seeming unkind. However, Stoicism offers a path to make this simple word an act of self-respect rather than rejection. Learning to say no confidently, without regret, is one of the most liberating skills you can develop, allowing you to honor your time, values, and energy while still respecting others. Through Stoic principles, you can redefine your relationship with this word, using it not as a barrier, but as a tool for genuine, intentional living. One of the first ways to embrace the power of saying no is to recognize that it's a form of honesty. When you decline something that doesn't align with your priorities or values, you're being truthful with yourself and others. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with our principles. When you say no, you communicate your truth openly, allowing others to see where you stand. This honesty fosters trust because people begin to understand that you mean what you say. By valuing honesty over people-pleasing, you create relationships built on transparency, where there's mutual respect for each other's boundaries. Another key aspect of saying no without regret is understanding that your time is limited. Time is the one resource that, once spent, cannot be regained. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your time, spreading yourself thin and often sacrificing what matters most to you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, and time management is a crucial part of that. By saying no to unnecessary demands, you protect your time and can dedicate it to pursuits that bring meaning and value to your life. Recognizing the importance of your time makes it easier to decline requests that don't align with your goals, knowing that every no serves as an affirmation of your priorities. Saying no is also a way to respect your energy. Engaging in activities that drain you can lead to burnout, leaving you with little energy for the things and people you genuinely care about. Stoicism encourages us to guard our inner peace, understanding that we cannot give what we don't have. By being selective about your commitments, you preserve your energy, ensuring that you show up fully for the things that matter. This approach isn't about avoiding responsibilities, but about making intentional choices that align with your well-being. Respecting your energy allows you to live with vitality and presence, rather than constantly feeling stretched thin. Another Stoic principle that aids in saying no is focusing on purpose over obligation. When you say yes out of obligation, you may fulfill the request, but it often lacks genuine enthusiasm or purpose. Stoicism reminds us that actions should be intentional and aligned with our core values. By only committing to what resonates with your purpose, you contribute from a place of authenticity rather than resentment. Saying no to things that don't serve your purpose allows you to focus on what truly matters, leading to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. This approach shifts your mindset from one of obligation to one of meaningful contribution. Embracing the freedom that comes with saying no is also essential. Every time you say no, you're choosing freedom over constraint. Often, people feel trapped by the expectations of others, fearing the repercussions of turning down a request. However, Stoicism teaches that freedom lies in our choices and actions, not in the approval of others. By saying no when necessary, you assert your independence, showing that your life is directed by your values rather than others' demands. This freedom fosters a sense of inner peace, as you no longer feel pressured to meet every external expectation. You begin to live with a sense of liberation, guided by your own principles rather than by the need to appease. Learning to say no also involves detaching from the need for approval. Many people agree to things they don't want to do because they crave validation, fearing that saying no might lead to rejection or disapproval. Stoicism, however, teaches that true contentment is found within, not from external validation. When you free yourself from the need for others' approval, saying no becomes a natural extension of your self-respect. This inner detachment strengthens your confidence as you understand that your worth is not tied to others' reactions. Instead, your focus shifts to what is right for you, fostering a sense of self-worth that is independent of external praise. Saying no without regret also requires clarity of intention. Stoicism emphasizes living with purpose, encouraging you to make decisions based on clear intentions rather than on impulse or pressure. When you know your intentions, you can discern which requests align with your path and which detract from it. This clarity makes it easier to say no, as you're guided by a strong sense of direction rather than by fleeting emotions or social expectations. Intentionality grounds you, allowing each no to reinforce your commitment to your values and goals. This alignment brings a sense of satisfaction, knowing that each decision is a step closer to your true path. Another key to saying no confidently is recognizing that boundaries benefit both you and others. Boundaries are often misunderstood as selfish, but they actually foster healthier interactions by setting clear expectations. When you say no, you're being clear about what you can and cannot offer, which prevents misunderstandings and resentment. Stoicism values rationality and clarity, suggesting that when boundaries are set openly, they enhance relationships rather than hinder them. By saying no with respect, you show others that you care enough to be honest, building trust in a way that ultimately strengthens the connection. Embracing the concept of enough is another valuable Stoic approach to saying no. In a culture that often pushes us to achieve and acquire endlessly, Stoicism teaches the beauty of sufficiency. Knowing when you have enough time, resources, commitments, helps you recognize when to say no. This perspective shifts your focus from accumulation to contentment, allowing you to decline additional responsibilities without feeling guilty. Saying no becomes a declaration that your life is complete as it is, and that more isn't always better. This satisfaction in enoughness enables you to create a life that is balanced and rich, grounded in a sense of sufficiency rather than endless pursuit. Practicing self-compassion is also essential in overcoming any guilt associated with saying no. Often, we're our own harshest critics, judging ourselves for not doing more, helping more, or giving more. Stoicism encourages us to approach ourselves with the same understanding we would offer others. When you say no, practice self-compassion by reminding yourself that your needs are valid and that you deserve time and space just as much as anyone else. This gentle approach replaces guilt with acceptance, allowing you to honor your limits without self-judgment. Self-compassion is a powerful tool, grounding you in the understanding that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity. Remember that saying no can be an act of love. While it may seem counterintuitive, declining certain requests can actually strengthen your relationships. By protecting your energy, you ensure that when you do say yes, it comes from a place of willingness and care rather than obligation. Stoicism teaches that genuine kindness is rooted in authenticity, not in martyrdom. Saying no when necessary allows you to engage with others honestly, offering your time and attention fully when you choose to. This authenticity deepens your connections as people recognize that your yes is given wholeheartedly, free from resentment or fatigue. By integrating these practices, embracing honesty, respecting your time, valuing your energy, focusing on purpose, choosing freedom, detaching from approval, acting with intention, setting boundaries, embracing sufficiency, practicing self-compassion, and understanding that no can be loving, you develop the strength to say no without regret. Stoicism guides you to a life where every decision reflects your values, creating relationships and commitments that are sincere, balanced, and fulfilling. In mastering this skill, you claim the freedom to live fully, knowing that each no is not a rejection, but an affirmation of a life lived with integrity and self-respect. Now that we've delved into the art of saying no, let's turn our attention to recognizing the subtle signs that you may be sacrificing your true self to please others. It can be easy to get lost in the habit of prioritizing others' needs, opinions, and desires, especially if you're deeply compassionate or value harmony. However, this tendency to please others often comes at a cost, slowly eroding your own identity, values, and peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner clarity, aligning our lives with our core principles rather than the shifting expectations of those around us. Here, we'll explore the signs that may signal a drift away from your true self and learn how to realign with authenticity. One of the most telling signs that you're losing yourself is when you begin to ignore your own needs to satisfy others. Constantly putting others first might seem like a noble gesture, but over time it can create an internal imbalance, leaving you depleted and disconnected from your own well-being. When you overlook your physical and emotional needs to cater to others, it slowly chips away at your inner stability. Stoicism reminds us that self-care is not selfish, it's a foundation for living with integrity. By prioritizing your needs, you reinforce a sense of self-respect, which is essential for authentic interactions with others. Another sign that you're drifting away from yourself is when you start to avoid conflict at any cost, even if it means compromising your beliefs. While harmony is valuable, continually surrendering your principles to keep the peace can erode your sense of self. Stoicism encourages us to stand firm in our values, understanding that conflict, when navigated thoughtfully, can lead to growth and clarity. If you find yourself agreeing to things you don't believe in or avoiding discussions out of fear of disagreement, it may be a sign that you're prioritizing others' comfort over your truth. Realigning with your beliefs, even when it's uncomfortable, preserves your integrity and strengthens your character. Losing a sense of purpose is another indicator that people-pleasing is overtaking your life. When your actions and choices are guided by what others expect rather than by your own goals, it becomes difficult to maintain a clear direction. Purpose is essential in Stoicism as it provides focus and resilience in the face of challenges. When you notice that you're constantly shifting your plans to accommodate others, you risk losing the motivation that comes from pursuing your own path. Rekindling your purpose helps you stay grounded in what truly matters to you, offering a sense of direction that can't be easily swayed by external demands. Feeling an overwhelming need for approval is another sign that you're losing yourself. If your happiness or sense of worth hinges on others' validation, you may be living for their approval rather than for your own fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that true contentment is found within, not from external praise or validation. When you seek approval, you place your self-worth in others' hands, making it fragile and easily influenced. Building inner self-assurance allows you to act from your values without the constant need for validation. This shift in perspective helps you reclaim your autonomy, reinforcing that your worth is not dependent on anyone else's opinions. Another indicator is if you're constantly feeling resentment or exhaustion. These emotions often surface when you're giving more than you're comfortable with, ignoring your limits to please others. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of recognizing and respecting your boundaries. When you continually overextend yourself, you drain your energy, leading to frustration and resentment towards those you're trying to please. Recognizing these emotions as signals rather than suppressing them allows you to address the root cause. By respecting your own limits, you prevent burnout and cultivate a balanced approach to giving that sustains rather than depletes. If you find yourself frequently changing your opinions or preferences to match those of others, this is also a sign that you're losing touch with your true self. In an attempt to fit in or avoid judgment, you may suppress your genuine thoughts, gradually blurring the line between your identity and others' expectations. Stoicism values authenticity and self-knowledge, encouraging you to remain true to your values, even when they differ from those around you. When you constantly adapt yourself to please, you risk losing the clarity that comes from knowing who you are. Standing firm in your beliefs, even subtly, reinforces your self-identity, helping you stay rooted in your own convictions. Another sign that you're losing yourself is when you struggle to make decisions without seeking input from others. While advice can be valuable, an over-reliance on others' opinions may suggest that you lack confidence in your own judgment. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from inner clarity and self-trust, guiding you to make decisions aligned with your principles. When you find it difficult to decide without validation, it can create a cycle of dependency where your choices are shaped more by external input than by your own understanding. Developing self-trust helps you break this pattern, allowing you to make decisions confidently and independently. Feeling disconnected from your passions or interests is another indication that you may be living for others rather than for yourself. When people-pleasing takes over, you may begin to abandon activities or interests that once brought joy, focusing instead on what others want or expect from you. This disconnection can lead to a sense of emptiness as you lose touch with the things that make life meaningful for you. Stoicism encourages you to nurture your passions, as they are expressions of your unique character and source of fulfillment. Reconnecting with your interests revives your sense of individuality, helping you reclaim parts of yourself that may have been neglected in the pursuit of approval. By recognizing these signs, neglecting your own needs, avoiding conflict, losing purpose, craving approval, feeling resentment, changing opinions to fit in, relying on others for decision-making, and disconnecting from your passions, you begin to understand the subtle ways that people-pleasing erodes your sense of self. Stoicism reminds you that living authentically requires staying true to your values, needs, and aspirations, even in the face of external pressures. Through this awareness, you can take steps to realign with your true self, creating a life that reflects who you genuinely are, rather than a version shaped by others' expectations. This path is one of self-respect, resilience, and inner peace, as you reclaim the parts of yourself that may have been lost along the way. Now that we've examined how easy it is to lose ourselves in the quest to please others, the next step is to reconnect with our core values and rediscover who we truly are. This journey back to your authentic self is about more than just identifying what you care about. It's about building a life that reflects those deeply held beliefs. Stoicism offers profound wisdom on this topic, encouraging us to live in alignment with our true values and principles rather than getting lost in the expectations and judgments of others. Through thoughtful reflection and practical steps, you can regain clarity and focus, creating a foundation of self-respect that sustains you in every aspect of life. The first essential step in this journey is to identify your core beliefs. These beliefs are the foundation of who you are, defining what truly matters to you at the deepest level. They aren't the fleeting preferences that change with trends or circumstances, but rather the unchanging principles that guide your decisions and shape your character. Core beliefs give you a sense of purpose and direction, offering an internal compass that helps you navigate challenges without losing yourself. Reflecting on these beliefs requires honesty and introspection, allowing you to look past surface desires and focus on what resonates with your innermost self. This awareness helps you understand why you act the way you do, reinforcing your commitment to live in accordance with what you genuinely value. Living by principles is the natural extension of knowing your core beliefs. Principles give your beliefs a tangible form, allowing you to put them into practice in your daily life. It's one thing to hold values, it's another to consistently live by them, especially when doing so may require courage or go against social expectations. Stoicism teaches that living authentically is not about bending to fit in, but about standing firm in what you believe. This might mean making choices that others don't understand, or respecting your boundaries even when others push against them. When you live by principles, you feel a sense of integrity that reinforces your self-respect. It allows you to look back on your actions with pride, knowing that they reflect your true self, rather than a version shaped by external pressures. An essential part of this journey is recognizing when you've strayed from your values. Life often presents situations where the desire to please or conform can lead you to compromise what matters to you. These moments may start subtly, such as agreeing to something you're uncomfortable with or letting a value slide for the sake of convenience. However, each compromise takes you a step further from your authentic self, creating a disconnection that can leave you feeling unfulfilled and conflicted. Spotting these signs requires self-awareness and the willingness to question your choices honestly. Recognizing when you've drifted from your values doesn't mean judging yourself harshly. It's about course correcting and returning to a path that feels right. This process strengthens your commitment to live by what you believe, reinforcing the bond between your actions and your values. Creating a personal mission statement is a powerful tool in this journey to rediscover your values. A mission statement provides clarity and focus, articulating what you stand for and what you want your life to represent. Writing down your values, goals, and intentions transforms them from abstract ideas into a clear guide that directs your actions and decisions. This statement serves as a reminder of what's most important, especially in moments of doubt or pressure. It keeps you aligned with your true self, helping you make choices that support your overall vision for your life. Crafting a personal mission statement is not about setting rigid rules, but rather about establishing a foundation that brings consistency and purpose to your daily actions. It becomes a source of motivation, reminding you why you've chosen to live the way you do. As you reconnect with your true values, each step reinforces your sense of self-respect and authenticity. Identifying your core beliefs, living by your principles, recognizing when you've strayed, and creating a personal mission statement all contribute to a life that reflects who you truly are. Stoicism encourages this journey of alignment, teaching that peace and fulfillment come from within rather than from external approval. Through this path, you build a life that isn't swayed by fleeting desires or social pressures, but instead rooted in enduring values that bring purpose and meaning. Reclaiming your true self is an act of self-honoring, allowing you to stand with strength and clarity, knowing that every step you take reflects the values you hold dear. Having reconnected with your core values and created a foundation for a more authentic life, the next step is to carefully examine when and how you extend your support to others. Helping people can be a deeply fulfilling part of life, but it also comes with complexities. Often, the act of giving can blur the line between genuine compassion and self-sacrifice, leaving us drained, overextended, or compromising our peace of mind. Stoicism encourages us to be intentional with our actions, ensuring that we offer our assistance thoughtfully and sustainably. Here are 6 guiding questions that can help you determine if and when to lend your support without losing yourself in the process. The first question to ask yourself before helping others is whether this act aligns with your values. In Stoic philosophy, alignment with values is key to living a life of integrity and peace. If helping someone requires you to go against what you believe in or act in a way that feels insincere, then the cost may be too high. Assisting others should not come at the expense of your self-respect or principles. When you consider whether an action is in harmony with your beliefs, you protect yourself from falling into people-pleasing behaviors or taking on roles that don't feel authentic. By ensuring your actions align with your values, you can offer support in a way that feels true to who you are, knowing that you are not compromising your identity for the sake of others. The second question to consider is whether your help is genuinely beneficial or simply expected. Sometimes we feel compelled to assist because of social norms, family expectations, or a sense of duty that isn't rooted in genuine compassion. Helping out of obligation rather than genuine intent can lead to resentment or fatigue. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, and choosing how we support others falls under this domain. Distinguishing between helpfulness and obligation allows you to give from a place of sincerity rather than from a need to conform. This discernment enables you to reserve your energy for acts of support that are meaningful and impactful, rather than spreading yourself thin in an effort to meet expectations that don't truly resonate with you. Another vital question is whether you can give without expecting anything in return. The need for acknowledgement or reciprocation can taint the purity of your intentions, turning an act of kindness into a transaction. Stoicism emphasizes self-sufficiency, encouraging us to act without attachment to outcomes. When you offer help without expecting anything back, you experience the freedom that comes from giving authentically. This approach keeps your motives clear and your spirit generous, knowing that your support isn't conditional. By detaching from outcomes, you strengthen your own resilience and contentment, as you are no longer dependent on others' reactions to feel good about your contributions. Before helping, it's also crucial to ask yourself if you truly have the energy to do so. Often, we extend ourselves out of a sense of duty or to avoid disappointing others, even when we're already stretched thin. However, Stoicism teaches that overextending oneself can disrupt inner peace. Your energy is a limited resource, and it must be preserved to maintain a balanced and fulfilling life. When you assess your own energy levels before helping, you show respect for your well-being, recognizing that you cannot give what you don't have. This self-awareness enables you to contribute without resentment or fatigue, ensuring that your assistance is sustainable rather than draining. By honoring your own needs, you create a foundation of strength that allows you to offer support without losing yourself in the process. Another important question to ask yourself is whether your help truly aids the other person or if it may be enabling them. Sometimes, helping can create dependency, preventing others from learning to cope or solve problems on their own. Stoicism teaches us to empower others rather than to foster reliance. Before you step in to assist, consider if your involvement allows the other person to grow or if it may hinder their development. This perspective encourages you to act with wisdom, understanding that sometimes stepping back is the kindest and most constructive choice. By allowing others the space to navigate challenges independently, you respect their autonomy and encourage their resilience, providing support only when it truly serves their best interest. Consider if this act of helping will impact your peace of mind. If lending support comes at the cost of your inner calm, it may be a sign that the situation is too emotionally charged or beyond your capacity to manage. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of maintaining inner tranquility, suggesting that your well-being should not be compromised in the name of helping others. When you prioritize your peace of mind, you make choices that reflect self-respect and balance, ensuring that you don't become entangled in others' challenges to the detriment of your own mental health. This boundary allows you to engage compassionately while still protecting your inner stability. By reflecting on these questions, aligning with your values, distinguishing genuine support from obligation, giving without attachment, preserving your energy, recognizing the difference between helping and enabling, and maintaining your peace of mind, you create a mindful approach to helping others. Stoicism guides you toward a life where your assistance is intentional, rooted in respect for both yourself and others. These questions empower you to give freely, sustainably, and with integrity, knowing that your actions honor your true self while offering meaningful support to those around you. Through this mindful approach, you cultivate relationships and acts of kindness that enrich your life rather than deplete it, fostering a deeper, more resilient form of compassion. Moving forward from mindful ways of helping others, another critical aspect of self-respect and peace lies in how we handle others' opinions, especially disapproval. In a world where feedback, judgment, and criticism are constant, learning to remain calm when others don't approve of you is a powerful skill. Stoicism offers timeless wisdom on maintaining inner steadiness regardless of external judgment, teaching us that true peace comes from within. The ability to stay calm in the face of disapproval allows you to live authentically, grounded in self-assurance rather than in others' shifting opinions. Let's explore the Stoic approach to maintaining your inner calm, even when others' judgments come your way. One of the most empowering ways to remain calm in the face of disapproval is by embracing non-attachment to others' opinions. When you focus on self-approval instead of seeking external validation, you find a steadiness that isn't easily shaken. Stoicism teaches that peace is rooted within, not in what others think of you. By letting go of the need for everyone's agreement or praise, you release yourself from the constant emotional ups and downs tied to others' judgments. Non-attachment doesn't mean you disregard feedback altogether. It means that you assess it without allowing it to define your worth. This practice helps you ground your confidence in your own understanding of your values and choices, making you resilient to fluctuations in others' views. It reminds you that your value doesn't come from others' approval, but from living in alignment with your principles. Accepting imperfection is another essential step in dealing with disapproval calmly. Not everyone will agree with your choices, and that's natural. The desire to be universally liked or understood often leads to unnecessary stress and self-doubt. Stoicism encourages us to accept our imperfections as part of the human experience, understanding that no one can please everyone. When you accept that your choices may not always resonate with others, you free yourself from the need to fit every mold. This acceptance creates space for growth and self-compassion, allowing you to focus on your path without feeling burdened by others' differing views. Recognizing that disagreement is a normal part of life brings a sense of freedom, as you realize that approval is not a prerequisite for worthiness. Practicing patience when facing criticism is another powerful Stoic approach to maintaining calm. Criticism, especially when it feels unfair or misguided, can trigger defensiveness or anger. However, Stoicism teaches that patience allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. When you practice patience, you give yourself the time to assess the criticism without letting it disrupt your peace. This approach helps you separate constructive feedback from criticism that doesn't serve your growth. By remaining patient, you can choose how to respond, if at all, rather than feeling compelled to justify yourself immediately. Patience becomes a shield, allowing you to absorb criticism calmly, process it fully, and decide whether it aligns with your values before letting it influence you. This practice strengthens your self-control, ensuring that your inner calm remains intact, regardless of others' perceptions. Building resilience to rejection is also essential when dealing with disapproval. Moments of rejection or criticism can feel challenging, but they offer valuable opportunities to strengthen self-assurance. Stoicism teaches that resilience is built through facing adversity with courage, viewing each challenge as a step toward greater inner strength. When you experience disapproval, use it as a chance to reaffirm your commitment to your path. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your worth, consider it a reminder to stay true to yourself despite external judgment. Each instance of disapproval becomes a moment to deepen your self-belief as you realize that your value isn't dependent on others' acceptance. This resilience reinforces a mindset of inner peace as you grow accustomed to standing by your choices, secure in your own understanding of what's right for you. Through these practices, embracing non-attachment to opinions, accepting imperfection, practicing patience in criticism, and building resilience to rejection, you cultivate a calm and self-assured approach to life. Stoicism guides you to find peace within, understanding that others' judgments need not disturb your inner balance. This strength allows you to live authentically, making choices rooted in your values and finding comfort in your own approval. By mastering these techniques, you remain grounded in self-respect, empowered to navigate the world with a steady heart and mind, unaffected by the shifting tides of others' perceptions. Having explored the art of staying calm amid disapproval, we move now to an equally liberating shift, letting go of the pressure to be nice and embracing a life rooted in authenticity. There is often a subtle burden that comes with always trying to be perceived as nice. While kindness is a valuable trait, constantly prioritizing others' comfort over genuine self-expression can lead to a life where your true thoughts, needs, and feelings are buried beneath layers of agreeability. Stoicism teaches that real freedom and peace come from aligning with your core values rather than conforming to others' expectations. Let's delve into how you can move from superficial niceness to an authentic, self-assured way of living that doesn't compromise your true self for the sake of approval. The journey from nice to authentic begins with recognizing the difference between being superficially pleasant and genuinely expressing yourself. The need to appear nice often stems from a desire to avoid conflict, gain acceptance, or maintain harmony. But in the process, this behavior can mask your real thoughts, needs, or emotions, leaving you feeling disconnected from yourself. Stoicism encourages you to live in alignment with your values rather than with external expectations. Moving towards authenticity means speaking and acting in ways that genuinely reflect your beliefs. This shift allows you to interact with others transparently, building deeper connections based on mutual respect rather than on maintaining a pleasing facade. Embracing authenticity means you no longer need to mold yourself to fit others' perceptions, and instead, you express yourself fully, honoring your true character. Letting go of the label of people-pleaser is a crucial part of this transformation. When you define yourself by the need to please, you place others' approval above your own sense of self-worth. People-pleasing often leads to self-sacrifice and resentment, as your actions are driven by the hope of validation rather than by genuine intention. Redefining yourself without needing to fit others' molds is an act of self-liberation. Stoicism teaches that your value isn't dependent on others' opinions, but on your commitment to living with integrity. By releasing the need to please, you reclaim your autonomy, allowing yourself to make decisions based on what truly resonates with you rather than on how it will be received. This freedom transforms your relationships as you begin to interact with others from a place of mutual respect rather than from a need to be liked. Understanding the distinction between niceness and kindness is also essential in letting go of the pressure to be nice. Niceness often stems from a need to appear agreeable, even at the cost of your own needs or values. Kindness, however, is rooted in compassion and doesn't require self-sacrifice. Choosing kindness over superficial niceness allows you to act with empathy while still respecting your own boundaries. Stoicism teaches that kindness is a strength that comes from inner stability, whereas niceness is often a reaction driven by external pressure. When you choose to be kind, rather than merely agreeable, you engage with others in a way that is both respectful and self-honoring. This approach fosters genuine interactions, where you give freely because it aligns with your values, not because you feel obligated to keep the peace. Building self-worth without relying on external approval is perhaps the most empowering aspect of letting go of niceness. Many people seek validation from others to feel valued, but this dependence often leads to a cycle where your confidence fluctuates with others' opinions. Stoicism teaches that true self-worth is cultivated internally, based on your principles, actions, and character. By learning to validate yourself, you become less susceptible to others' judgments. This internal validation reinforces your confidence as you no longer need approval to feel secure in who you are. Living with self-assurance allows you to make choices that are aligned with your true self, unshaken by others' expectations or opinions. This foundation of inner worth becomes a source of peace and freedom, empowering you to live authentically. Through these practices, moving from nice to authentic, letting go of people-pleaser labels, choosing kindness over superficial agreeability, and discovering self-worth within, you create a life where your actions are guided by genuine intent rather than by the pressure to be pleasing. Stoicism offers a path to true freedom, where your choices are rooted in inner strength and authenticity. By letting go of nice, you build a life that reflects who you truly are, embracing the confidence that comes from knowing that your worth is grounded in your values, not in others' approval. This shift brings a lasting peace, allowing you to interact with the world from a place of integrity, resilience, and self-respect. Having let go of the constant need for external approval and embracing an authentic self, the next step is learning the true value of solitude. In a world that often equates being alone with being lonely, solitude remains one of the most powerful paths to personal growth and inner strength. The teachings of Stoicism remind us that time spent alone is not a sign of isolation, but an opportunity to deepen self-awareness, strengthen independence, and discover peace away from social pressures. Embracing solitude is an empowering practice that allows you to find clarity, build resilience, and rely more fully on your own strength. Understanding the power of alone time is the first step in unlocking the benefits of solitude. Spending time by yourself, away from external distractions, opens up a space for clear thinking. Solitude offers a unique setting where your thoughts can be examined without outside interference, revealing truths about yourself that may be hidden in the noise of daily life. This clarity brings a sense of calm, helping you make decisions and evaluate your life from a place of internal peace rather than external chaos. Stoicism teaches that clarity is essential to inner strength. It is the foundation of self-awareness and understanding. When you learn to appreciate the value of alone time, you tap into a wellspring of clarity that strengthens your ability to face challenges with a balanced mind. Solitude also creates the perfect setting for self-reflection, an essential Stoic practice that helps you better understand your needs and desires. In the quiet of solitude, you have the chance to connect with your thoughts, feelings, and aspirations on a deeper level. This reflection is not about self-critique, but rather about gaining insight into what truly fulfills you and what changes might be needed to align more closely with your values. By taking this time, you allow yourself to rediscover parts of yourself that may have been neglected or overshadowed by external demands. Self-reflection through solitude builds a strong connection with your inner self, helping you navigate life with greater confidence and understanding. This practice transforms solitude into a powerful tool for growth, revealing a depth of insight that enriches every area of your life. Another significant aspect of embracing solitude is overcoming the fear of being alone. Many people view solitude as a sign of loneliness, but Stoicism teaches that there is a vital distinction between the two. Loneliness is often characterized by a lack of connection, whereas solitude is an active choice to connect with oneself. When you choose solitude willingly, it becomes a space of comfort rather than emptiness. Learning to embrace solitude as a form of self-care allows you to see it as a gift rather than as something to avoid. This shift in perspective empowers you to stand alone without feeling isolated, creating a sense of wholeness that doesn't rely on constant social engagement. Overcoming the fear of being alone fosters a resilient mindset, as you learn that your peace and contentment do not depend on the presence of others, but come from within. Strengthening independence is another invaluable benefit of solitude. When you spend time alone, you cultivate self-reliance, developing a deeper understanding of your own capabilities. Solitude offers the freedom to think, decide, and act independently, without the influence of others' opinions or expectations. This experience builds confidence in your ability to manage life's challenges on your own, reinforcing the Stoic principle of self-sufficiency. By relying on your own judgment and strength, you become less affected by external factors and more secure in your decisions. This independence fosters a sense of empowerment that allows you to approach life with self-assurance, knowing that you have the internal resources to navigate both joy and adversity. In addition to fostering independence, solitude also helps you resist social pressures, providing a sanctuary from the need to impress or fit in. In the quiet of solitude, there is no pressure to conform, no expectation to perform. This freedom allows you to explore your genuine thoughts and interests without worrying about how they'll be received. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, and solitude is an ideal environment to nurture this peace. By stepping away from social expectations, you gain a clearer sense of your own values, finding comfort in who you are without needing external validation. Resisting social pressures through solitude strengthens your inner calm, enabling you to interact with others authentically, grounded in self-assurance rather than in a desire for acceptance. Through these practices, understanding the power of alone time, engaging in self-reflection, overcoming the fear of being alone, strengthening independence, and resisting social pressures, you cultivate a profound connection with yourself. Embracing solitude is not about isolation, it's about creating a space for growth, clarity, and resilience. Stoicism teaches that inner strength is cultivated through self-knowledge and independence, and solitude provides the ideal setting to develop these qualities. By choosing to spend time alone, you build a foundation of inner peace and self-reliance that sustains you through life's challenges, offering a deep well of strength and clarity that no external force can take away. Through solitude, you discover the freedom of living authentically, grounded in the peace and resilience that come from truly knowing and trusting yourself. With a solid understanding of solitude as a path to inner strength, let's now turn to a challenge that many face: taking things personally. In a world where judgments, feedback, and external triggers are inevitable, learning to distance ourselves from the opinions and behaviors of others is crucial for inner peace and resilience. Stoicism teaches us that we have the power to choose our response to every situation. Instead of absorbing others' negativity, we can learn to protect our self-worth and strengthen our emotional independence. In exploring ways to stop taking things personally, you'll uncover tools for building a calm, centered mindset that remains unaffected by the shifting tides of others' reactions. Practicing emotional detachment is one of the most powerful ways to stop taking things personally. Emotional detachment doesn't mean apathy or shutting down. It's the ability to observe others' actions without letting them affect your sense of self. When someone's words or behavior triggers a strong emotional response, it's natural to feel that their actions are directed at you personally. However, Stoicism teaches that external events and actions are beyond our control, and our energy is better spent focusing on our internal response. By practicing emotional detachment, you protect your sense of self from becoming intertwined with others' judgments or opinions. This allows you to engage with others from a place of inner calm, recognizing that their actions are more about them than about you. Emotional detachment is a form of self-preservation, helping you maintain a balanced perspective even in the face of negativity. Understanding external triggers is another essential step in freeing yourself from the habit of taking things personally. People's reactions often reflect their own struggles, insecurities, or frustrations rather than a true assessment of your character. When someone reacts harshly or dismissively, it may have little to do with you and everything to do with their personal issues. Recognizing that most behaviors reflect others' own issues allows you to separate their reactions from your own sense of self-worth. This perspective fosters compassion as you begin to see others as dealing with their own challenges rather than as critics of your identity. Stoicism reminds us that our peace of mind depends on understanding rather than judgment, allowing us to approach each interaction with empathy rather than defensiveness. By understanding the root of others' behaviors, you gain the ability to maintain your composure without absorbing their negativity. Reframing criticism as information rather than as a personal attack is also a valuable tool for emotional resilience. Criticism, whether constructive or otherwise, can easily be internalized as a judgment of your worth or abilities. However, by viewing criticism as a form of feedback rather than a reflection of your identity, you shift your perspective. Stoicism teaches us that we can choose how we interpret external inputs, taking what is useful and letting go of the rest. When you approach criticism as information, it becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a source of hurt. This shift allows you to listen openly, extracting valuable insights without allowing negative feedback to shake your confidence. Viewing criticism objectively gives you control over your response, helping you to grow without feeling diminished. Building a calm inner dialogue is also fundamental in managing emotional responses to others' actions. When someone's words or behavior feels hurtful, it's easy to fall into patterns of self-doubt or frustration. However, Stoicism encourages a composed and compassionate inner voice, reminding us that we are not defined by others' perceptions. By cultivating a supportive inner dialogue, you replace negative self-talk with affirming, constructive thoughts. This practice helps you respond to perceived slights with understanding and grace, rather than with emotional reactivity. A calm inner voice becomes a source of strength, guiding you to maintain your self-assurance and perspective regardless of others' reactions. This internal stability is a cornerstone of Stoic resilience, allowing you to navigate challenging interactions with poise and confidence. Through these practices, emotional detachment, understanding external triggers, reframing criticism, and building a calm inner dialogue, you develop a mindset that remains undisturbed by others' opinions and actions. Stoicism teaches that true peace and strength come from within, and by letting go of personal attachments to external judgments, you gain the freedom to live authentically. This resilience allows you to face the world with an unshakable sense of self, rooted in your values rather than in others' shifting perceptions. Having explored the importance of letting go of external judgments, it's now time to turn inward and reflect on one of the most empowering practices: self-acceptance. In a world that often pushes us toward constant comparison and self-criticism, learning to embrace ourselves, flaws, strengths, and everything in between is a radical act of self-respect and resilience. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from accepting our nature, understanding our imperfections, and recognizing our potential for growth. Self-acceptance isn't about resigning to where we are. It's about building a balanced perspective that values growth and self-compassion. Here, we'll dive into the art of self-acceptance, uncovering how to find strength and peace within your own story. The foundation of self-acceptance lies in seeing yourself as a work in progress. When you accept that growth is a continuous journey, you relieve yourself of the unrealistic expectation of perfection. Stoicism teaches that life is a process of becoming, where each day is an opportunity to learn and evolve. Rather than focusing on every mistake as a flaw, seeing yourself as a work in progress allows you to view setbacks as essential parts of your journey. This mindset nurtures patience and determination, reinforcing that improvement is more valuable than perfection. In embracing this approach, you recognize that growth doesn't have an endpoint, but is an ongoing practice. With each step, you gain a clearer understanding of yourself, building resilience through learning rather than through the illusion of flawlessness. Practicing compassion toward yourself is another essential aspect of self-acceptance. We often extend kindness to others without hesitation, yet struggle to show ourselves the same understanding. When you treat yourself with the same compassion you offer to others, you create a nurturing inner environment that fosters self-respect. Stoicism encourages us to be kind, even to ourselves, reminding us that harsh self-criticism is counterproductive. Compassionate self-reflection allows you to acknowledge your struggles and efforts without judgment. This approach helps you to see mistakes as natural parts of growth rather than as reasons for self-reproach. By extending kindness to yourself, you cultivate a supportive foundation that enhances your ability to face life's challenges with grace and resilience. Owning your story is a powerful practice in self-acceptance, as it involves embracing all parts of your journey, including the mistakes, setbacks, and triumphs. Every experience, good or bad, shapes who you are and contributes to your growth. Rather than feeling ashamed of past errors, Stoicism encourages us to see them as lessons that guide us forward. By learning to accept your entire story, you release the need to edit or hide parts of yourself. This acceptance helps you to feel complete, rooted in the understanding that your journey is unique and meaningful. Owning your story brings freedom, as you no longer need to seek validation or approval from others. Instead, you find strength in your journey, trusting that each chapter has contributed to the person you are today. Building confidence in your uniqueness is the final step in fully embracing self-acceptance. Society often promotes conformity, but true strength lies in embracing what makes you different. Your unique qualities, perspectives, and talents are invaluable aspects of who you are. Stoicism teaches that individual virtues are gifts that contribute to the world in distinct ways. When you build confidence in your uniqueness, You learn to value your differences as strengths rather than as shortcomings. This perspective allows you to contribute authentically, knowing that you offer something special that no one else can replicate. Embracing your individuality gives you the freedom to live according to your own values, without the need for comparison or competition. Confidence in your uniqueness fosters a sense of purpose, allowing you to stand firmly in who you are. Through these practices, seeing yourself as a work in progress, practicing compassion toward yourself, owning your story, and building confidence in your uniqueness, you create a foundation of self-acceptance that empowers every aspect of your life. Stoicism guides us to recognize that true strength and peace come from within, and by embracing our whole selves, we unlock resilience, purpose, and contentment. Self-acceptance is not about self-satisfaction or complacency. It is a journey of continuous growth, rooted in an honest understanding of our nature. By fully embracing your own story, with all its flaws and strengths, you step into a life of inner peace, where your self-worth is defined not by external standards, but by the richness of your own journey. Having explored the depth and freedom that comes from self-acceptance, we now turn to the power of daily habits in strengthening self-reliance. A consistent daily routine can transform your life, grounding you in purpose and resilience. Stoicism teaches that true strength is cultivated through small, intentional actions that honor your values and deepen your connection to yourself. With each day offering an opportunity to build inner stability, let's dive into how creating a mindful routine can support your journey toward greater self-reliance and clarity. Starting each morning with a moment of reflection can anchor your day in purpose and self-alignment. Morning reflection is more than just a ritual. It's a powerful way to affirm your values and reconnect with your goals before the world's demands take hold. By taking a few minutes to assess what truly matters, you enter the day with clarity and strength. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of aligning actions with inner values, suggesting that starting the day with intentional thoughts sets a foundation for integrity. In those quiet moments, you reinforce the qualities and intentions that guide you, preparing yourself to handle challenges with calm and purpose. This practice helps you to live in a way that reflects your core beliefs, turning every action into a reflection of your inner compass. Developing rituals of self-care is another essential component of building self-reliance. Self-care often gets overlooked as simply indulgent or unnecessary, but in Stoicism, caring for yourself is seen as a form of respect and resilience. These rituals don't have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as taking time for nourishing meals, pausing for a short walk, or reading something uplifting. Each small act is a reminder that you are worthy of care and attention. When you prioritize self-care, you build inner strength that supports your ability to face life's difficulties with resilience. These rituals become anchors, grounding you throughout the day and reinforcing a stable foundation. Self-care, in its simplest forms, teaches you that respecting yourself is a daily commitment, and over time, these small acts contribute profoundly to your overall well-being. Setting daily intentions is a practice that deepens purpose through mindful planning. It's easy to move through life on autopilot, but setting intentions each day invites you to live with greater awareness. By defining what you want to accomplish, you create a sense of purpose that informs your actions. Stoicism values mindful living, urging us to choose our thoughts and actions carefully. Setting intentions is a way to bring focus to what truly matters, helping you to avoid distractions and live more deliberately. Whether it's committing to approach a task with patience or dedicating time to a meaningful goal, these intentions act as a guide for your day. Each choice aligns with your values, fostering self-respect and reinforcing the idea that your life is shaped by your conscious decisions. Ending the day with gratitude is a practice that can deepen your connection to yourself and your journey. Taking time each evening to reflect on your efforts, accomplishments, and moments of growth reinforces a sense of appreciation for your progress. Gratitude isn't just about recognizing the good things around you, it's about honoring the steps you've taken to grow and become stronger. Stoicism teaches that by focusing on what you have and what you've achieved, you create a mindset of contentment and resilience. This evening gratitude practice brings a sense of closure to your day, helping you to reflect on your efforts with kindness. It is a reminder that even on challenging days, there is progress to acknowledge and lessons to carry forward. Gratitude at the end of each day also reinforces your self-worth, reminding you that you are enough, just as you are. By weaving these practices, morning reflection, self-care rituals, daily intentions, and evening gratitude into your daily life, you create a routine that supports and strengthens self-reliance. Each small action reinforces the foundation of inner stability, empowering you to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence and purpose. Stoicism teaches that building self-reliance is a lifelong journey, one shaped by mindful actions and choices. Through these practices, you foster resilience, purpose, and gratitude, creating a life grounded in self-respect and authenticity. A consistent daily routine becomes more than a collection of habits. It is a commitment to honor yourself and to live with intention, rooted in the strength that comes from within. Having established a foundation of self-reliance through mindful routines, let's now turn to one of the most freeing aspects of personal growth: overcoming the fear of disapproval and stepping fully into an authentic life. Many of us have experienced the weight of caring too deeply about what others think, feeling constrained by expectations, and even adjusting our actions to fit others' judgments. Stoicism teaches that true freedom lies in releasing this dependence on approval, focusing instead on living in harmony with our own values. By learning to live authentically, you can discover a sense of peace and strength that no external opinion can shake. Let's explore how to break free from the chains of fear, build self-respect, and embrace your unique path with confidence. Challenging your fears of judgment begins with questioning their validity. The fear of disapproval often looms larger in our minds than it does in reality, amplifying potential criticism or rejection and making us hesitant to act in ways that are true to ourselves. Stoicism encourages us to examine our fears with logic, stripping away their power by recognizing their exaggerations. When you question whether others' opinions are as significant as they seem, you may find that these fears lack substance. Ask yourself if the disapproval you fear will truly impact your life in a meaningful way, or if it's simply a mental projection of insecurity. This practice reveals that fear of judgment often stems more from our own doubts than from any real threat, helping you gain clarity and courage. By seeing judgment as a fleeting concern rather than as a genuine obstacle, you dismantle its grip, opening the door to act according to your values instead of according to others' expectations. Focusing on self-respect over external approval is a vital step in embracing authenticity. Approval from others can feel validating, but relying on it for self-worth often leads to an unstable sense of identity. True respect, as Stoicism teaches, must come from within. It is built by aligning your actions with your principles and living in a way that reflects your integrity. Self-respect isn't dependent on applause or validation. It's rooted in the knowledge that you are acting in accordance with your values. When you prioritize self-respect, you free yourself from the fluctuating opinions of others, choosing to stand by your choices even when they may not be universally accepted. This shift allows you to live with a steady sense of purpose, grounded in the confidence that your worth isn't contingent on others' approval. Over time, focusing on self-respect creates a stronger, more resilient self-image, empowering you to live with consistency and inner peace. Taking small, authentic actions each day is a powerful way to cultivate courage and reduce the fear of disapproval. Living authentically may feel daunting, especially when you're used to conforming to others' expectations. However, by starting with minor decisions that align with your true self, you build confidence in your ability to act without seeking validation. These small actions, such as expressing an opinion honestly, making a choice based on your preferences, or setting a gentle boundary, reinforce your autonomy and strengthen your sense of self. Stoicism teaches that courage is developed through consistent practice, not through grand gestures. Each small step toward authenticity reinforces the idea that you are capable of standing by your values, no matter the reaction of others. Over time, these small, authentic actions accumulate, fostering a mindset where authenticity becomes a natural part of how you live, rather than a task you need to accomplish. Building trust in yourself is perhaps the most transformative aspect of overcoming the fear of disapproval. When you live authentically, you begin to realize that your well-being and peace of mind don't depend on others' opinions, but on your commitment to your own path. Trusting yourself means recognizing that you have the wisdom to guide your life, the strength to face challenges, and the clarity to make decisions that align with your values. This trust fosters a profound sense of inner peace, as you no longer need to look outside for validation or assurance. Stoicism teaches that the more you trust in your own principles, the more resilient you become to external pressures. With each decision made from a place of authenticity, your trust in yourself deepens, building a life where your self-worth is stable and independent. Living with self-trust allows you to embrace the journey fully, confident that you are living a life of purpose and integrity. By integrating these practices, challenging fears of judgment, focusing on self-respect, taking small, authentic actions, and building trust in yourself, you cultivate a life of authenticity and inner strength. Stoicism guides us to find freedom not by pleasing others, but by living true to ourselves, creating a foundation of resilience and peace. As you grow more comfortable living authentically, you release the need for approval, discovering a profound joy that comes from embracing your own unique path. The journey to self-acceptance is a path to self-liberation, where your worth is defined not by external opinions, but by the integrity with which you live your life. Having explored the freedom that comes from living authentically and prioritizing self-respect over external approval, it's now time to turn our focus to a valuable resource that often gets sacrificed in the rush to please others: time. Time is a finite asset, and how you use it defines not only what you accomplish, but also the quality of your life. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of intentional living, where time is spent in alignment with your values and not squandered on unnecessary commitments or distractions. Learning to reclaim your time from others' demands is a powerful step toward a life that honors your goals, priorities, and well-being. Let's delve into practical ways to protect and cherish your time, fostering a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Setting boundaries around your time is the first essential step in reclaiming control over your schedule. Without clear boundaries, it's easy to find yourself overloaded with commitments that serve others more than yourself. Setting these boundaries doesn't mean neglecting those around you. It's about acknowledging that your time is a precious resource, one that deserves respect. When you define clear limits for what you can and cannot commit to, you create space for the things that truly matter. Stoicism teaches that we should act with purpose, and setting boundaries around your time allows you to live purposefully. Protecting your schedule from unnecessary obligations means that you no longer say yes out of obligation or guilt, but from genuine intention. These boundaries empower you to choose where your energy goes, making room for meaningful endeavors and reducing the stress of an overloaded calendar. Prioritizing what matters most is a key aspect of reclaiming time. In a world filled with demands and distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your own priorities. By focusing on what genuinely aligns with your goals and values, you can let go of lesser pursuits that drain your energy without adding meaning to your life. Stoicism encourages discernment, reminding us that not all tasks are of equal importance. Saying no to commitments that don't serve your higher purpose allows you to dedicate your time to what brings fulfillment and progress. When you prioritize, you make intentional choices that reflect your aspirations, reducing the tendency to get sidetracked by trivial matters. This approach helps you live in alignment with what truly matters, turning each day into a step toward your long-term vision rather than a series of distractions. Practicing presence is another powerful way to reclaim your time by focusing on quality over quantity in interactions and activities. It's not just about being physically present, but fully engaging in each moment, bringing attention and intention to your interactions and tasks. When you practice presence, even short conversations or moments of work become more meaningful as you give your full self to the experience. Stoicism teaches that we should live in the present, cherishing each moment as an opportunity for growth or connection. By being fully engaged, you avoid the exhaustion that comes from half-hearted commitments or multitasking. Practicing presence allows you to honor each interaction and task, finding satisfaction in depth rather than in a superficial spread of your attention across multiple obligations. This focus on quality enhances your relationships and work, making the time you do spend with others or on tasks truly worthwhile. Creating you time is essential for personal growth and relaxation, ensuring that your day includes moments dedicated to your own well-being. In a world where demands can feel constant, carving out this space helps you recharge and reconnect with yourself. You time can be as simple as setting aside a few quiet moments for reading, reflection, or creative pursuits that nourish your soul. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and dedicating time to yourself each day strengthens this inner peace. By reserving this time, you honor your need for balance, cultivating resilience and clarity. This personal space becomes a daily anchor, a time to refocus on your goals, reflect on your growth, or simply rest. You time reinforces that your well-being is a priority, giving you the strength to face each day with renewed energy and purpose. Through these practices, setting time boundaries, prioritizing what matters, practicing presence, and creating personal time, you reclaim control over your life, directing your energy toward what truly fulfills you. Stoicism guides us to live with intention, valuing time as a resource that should reflect our purpose and values. By protecting your time, you create a life that isn't dictated by others' demands, but is shaped by your own aspirations and well-being. This approach fosters a sense of freedom, enabling you to engage with the world from a place of balance and authenticity, knowing that each moment spent reflects your commitment to a purposeful and meaningful life. Now that we've discussed reclaiming your time and living intentionally, let's turn our focus to another essential Stoic practice: letting go of the urge to fix others. The desire to help and guide those we care about can be powerful, yet Stoicism teaches us that trying to change others can become a significant source of frustration and distraction. By accepting others as they are and focusing on our own growth, we honor their autonomy and strengthen our inner peace. In this section, we'll explore how releasing the need to control or fix others fosters resilience, contentment, and deeper, more meaningful connections. Accepting others as they are means fully embracing their autonomy, allowing them the freedom to grow, change, or remain as they wish. When you release the need to alter or direct someone else's path, you honor their individuality and personal journey. Stoicism reminds us that each person has a unique set of values, experiences, and choices, none of which are within our control. By accepting others in their entirety, including their flaws and struggles, you create a space for authentic connection, free from the pressures of expectation. This acceptance doesn't mean agreeing with every choice they make, but rather respecting their right to choose their own path. When you stop trying to change others, you also free yourself from the weight of unmet expectations, cultivating a sense of peace and allowing you to focus on nurturing genuine, supportive relationships. Redirecting your energy from trying to fix others to focusing on your own growth is a transformative shift that brings immense value to your life. The time and energy spent analyzing others' actions, advising them, or hoping they will change is energy that could be devoted to your own development. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-mastery, encouraging us to direct our efforts inward rather than outward. By choosing to focus on your growth, you strengthen your ability to navigate challenges, understand your own values, and align with your purpose. This shift also serves as a powerful example for those around you. When others see you living with integrity and working on your own development, they may feel inspired to do the same without the need for your intervention. Focusing on your growth ultimately deepens your sense of contentment and purpose as you dedicate yourself to becoming the best version of yourself. Detaching from outcomes when offering support to others is essential for maintaining peace and balance. When you care deeply about someone, it's natural to want to see them succeed or make positive choices. However, attaching yourself to their outcomes creates unnecessary stress and can lead to disappointment if they make decisions you wouldn't choose. Stoicism teaches that we can only control our own actions and responses, not the choices or paths of others. When you detach from their outcomes, you can offer support from a place of genuine care rather than from a need to direct their life. This detachment allows you to be present without being overly invested in the results, giving others the space to grow in their own way and at their own pace. Letting go of outcomes also fosters resilience as you learn to handle situations with grace, regardless of how others choose to respond. Building self-contentment is one of the most fulfilling aspects of letting go of the urge to fix others. When you find satisfaction in your own journey, you no longer feel compelled to control or judge the paths others take. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, and by nurturing your own contentment, you release the need for external validation or control over others. Self-contentment grows when you focus on your values, progress, and goals, appreciating the uniqueness of your path without comparing it to others. This mindset helps you to engage with others from a place of wholeness, as you are no longer seeking fulfillment through their choices or behaviors. Building self-contentment means that your sense of joy and peace remains intact, independent of what others do or say. It allows you to approach relationships with respect and understanding, valuing people for who they are rather than for what you hope they will become. By practicing these principles, accepting others as they are, focusing on your own growth, detaching from outcomes, and building self-contentment, you cultivate a life rooted in inner strength and tranquility. Stoicism encourages us to respect the autonomy of others, recognizing that each person's path is their own to navigate. When you release the need to control or fix, you create space for genuine connection, resilience, and peace. In embracing this approach, you free yourself from the burdens of unmet expectations, focusing instead on your journey and the growth it brings. Letting go of control over others not only strengthens your relationships, but also deepens your connection to yourself, creating a life of balance, respect, and authenticity. Having explored the importance of letting go of control over others, we now turn inward once again to a crucial practice: patience with yourself as you learn to set boundaries. Establishing boundaries can be a challenging journey, often met with hesitation, self-doubt, or the fear of disappointing others. Stoicism teaches that true strength is found not in rigidity, but in compassion and adaptability, especially toward ourselves. In the process of setting boundaries, it's essential to approach ourselves with patience, understanding that this is a skill that develops over time. By embracing imperfection, celebrating progress, cultivating supportive self-talk, and learning to adjust as we grow, we build the foundation for lasting, respectful boundaries. Let's delve deeply into these practices to uncover how you can nurture resilience and self-respect through the gentle art of setting boundaries. Becoming comfortable with imperfection is one of the first steps in the journey of boundary setting. Many struggle with the idea that boundaries must be perfectly clear and consistent from the beginning, leading to unnecessary stress and self-criticism. Stoicism reminds us that life is a constant work in progress and that every new challenge presents an opportunity to learn and grow. In the context of boundaries, this means giving yourself permission to make mistakes, to learn through trial and error, and to refine your approach over time. The more comfortable you become with your own imperfections, the less fear you'll have in setting and enforcing boundaries, even if they're not flawless. By accepting that boundaries, like any skill, require practice, you release the pressure to be perfect and instead focus on steady, meaningful progress. Recognizing progress over perfection is a powerful way to stay motivated and build confidence in setting boundaries. Every small step you take toward asserting yourself, every instance where you honor your limits, is a sign of growth. Stoicism teaches us to value progress and resilience, acknowledging that each step forward is valuable. When you celebrate small victories, such as saying no when it feels uncomfortable or taking a break when needed, you reinforce a positive feedback loop. These moments of success help you to see that boundary setting is achievable and that you are capable of standing up for your own needs. This focus on progress fosters a sense of empowerment, encouraging you to continue setting boundaries without feeling overwhelmed by the need for perfection. Over time, these incremental wins build up, transforming your mindset and making boundary setting a natural, confident part of your life. Developing compassionate self-talk is essential when boundaries feel challenging or uncomfortable. Setting limits with others can sometimes trigger feelings of guilt, self-doubt, or even fear, especially if you're used to prioritizing others' needs over your own. Stoicism encourages us to speak to ourselves with the same kindness and encouragement we would offer a friend. When you face discomfort in setting boundaries, use gentle, supportive language to reassure yourself. Acknowledge that it's natural to feel uneasy and remind yourself that your well-being matters. Compassionate self-talk helps to quiet the inner critic, replacing harsh judgments with understanding and patience. This supportive dialogue creates a safe space for growth, allowing you to embrace boundary setting as an act of self-respect rather than as something to dread. By nurturing this compassionate inner voice, you cultivate a foundation of strength, empowering yourself to continue setting boundaries with confidence and self-respect. Learning to adjust boundaries as you grow more confident is a final, essential practice in cultivating lasting self-respect. Boundaries are not static. They evolve as you change, as relationships shift, and as you become more comfortable with your own needs. Stoicism teaches that adaptability is a strength, reminding us that flexibility allows us to respond effectively to the dynamic nature of life. As you grow more confident in asserting your needs, you may find that certain boundaries require strengthening while others can be relaxed. This adaptability ensures that your boundaries remain relevant and supportive, reflecting your current values and priorities. By giving yourself permission to adjust, you allow your boundaries to serve you rather than restrict you. This flexibility reinforces the idea that boundary setting is a continuous journey of self-discovery, where each adjustment reflects your growth and commitment to honoring your true self. Through these practices, embracing imperfection, celebrating progress, nurturing compassionate self-talk, and learning to adjust, you create a path to setting boundaries with resilience and self-respect. Stoicism teaches that patience and self-compassion are essential for inner strength, and by practicing these qualities in the context of boundaries, you foster a life of balance and integrity. Boundaries become not barriers, but expressions of self-worth and care, honoring your needs while allowing you to connect with others authentically. This journey is one of empowerment, where each step towards self-respect strengthens your foundation, cultivating an inner peace that no external demands can disrupt. With the foundation of patience and self-compassion established in setting boundaries, we now shift to an equally profound aspect of Stoic wisdom, releasing external expectations to cultivate a deep and enduring inner peace. In a world that often places immense pressure on meeting others' standards, learning to let go of these external demands can be transformative. Inner peace, according to Stoicism, is not a state achieved by meeting every expectation placed upon us, but by freeing ourselves from the need to do so. This freedom allows us to align more authentically with our values and live a life grounded in purpose and serenity. Let's dive into the essence of releasing external expectations and the inner tranquility that can be achieved by shedding the weight of outside pressures. Releasing external expectations starts with understanding the limits of what we can control. Many of us hold on to the notion that we must shape others' perceptions of us, that we must act in ways that align with what society, family, or peers deem acceptable. However, Stoicism teaches that the only things truly within our control are our thoughts, actions, and responses. Other people's judgments, reactions, and expectations fall outside our sphere of influence. By recognizing this, we can begin to focus on our own intentions and values rather than on what others might think or demand. This shift brings immense relief, as it liberates us from the exhausting effort of attempting to please everyone. As we stop worrying about what others expect, we create space to act in ways that resonate with our true selves, fostering a sense of integrity and peace. Aligning with one's own values over others' expectations is another powerful step toward inner tranquility. When we make decisions based on our principles rather than on what we think others want from us, we begin to live in harmony with our inner selves. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a deep understanding of our values so that they become the guiding force behind our actions. This clarity provides a solid foundation that allows us to make choices confidently, unaffected by the shifting opinions or standards of others. Living according to your own values means that you find fulfillment in being true to yourself, rather than in meeting the fluctuating demands of external forces. This alignment nurtures a calm resilience, as you no longer feel the need to justify your actions to anyone but yourself. Each choice becomes an act of self-respect, bringing a sense of wholeness that can't be achieved through external validation. Letting go of the desire for approval can be challenging, but it's essential for cultivating inner peace. Approval seeking often leads to feelings of insecurity as we hand over our self-worth to the judgment of others. When we base our sense of value on how we are perceived, we become vulnerable to the slightest hint of criticism or disapproval. Stoicism teaches that true self-worth arises from within, independent of external affirmation. Releasing the need for approval allows you to reclaim your self-esteem, understanding that your worth is not defined by others' opinions. This shift fosters a profound sense of freedom, where you feel empowered to act according to your beliefs and priorities, even if they contradict popular opinion. By letting go of the need for approval, you create an environment of self-acceptance, freeing yourself from the chains of outside validation. Another essential aspect of releasing external expectations is learning to accept that you cannot please everyone. Many of us expend tremendous energy trying to meet the needs and desires of those around us, fearing that saying no or setting boundaries will lead to disappointment or rejection. However, Stoicism reminds us that attempting to satisfy everyone's expectations is an impossible task. Each person has their own unique perspective and set of standards, which means that what pleases one may disappoint another. By embracing this truth, you relieve yourself of the burden of universal acceptance. Accepting that not everyone will be pleased by your choices allows you to prioritize your own values and well-being. This understanding liberates you to act with authenticity and self-respect, focusing on what truly matters to you rather than trying to live up to others' often contradictory demands. Practicing detachment from outcomes is also a fundamental Stoic principle for cultivating inner peace. When we become overly attached to specific outcomes, especially those that involve gaining others' approval or meeting external standards, we place our happiness in things beyond our control. Stoicism teaches that true tranquility comes from accepting that outcomes are often influenced by factors we cannot predict or manipulate. By focusing on the integrity of your actions rather than on the end results, you learn to find contentment in the effort rather than in the outcome. This detachment allows you to approach each situation with equanimity, recognizing that your inner peace does not depend on achieving a particular result. As you let go of attachment to outcomes, you create space for genuine peace, understanding that your value and worth are defined by your intentions and actions, not by the results they yield. Through these practices, releasing the need to control others' opinions, aligning with personal values, letting go of approval-seeking, accepting that you can't please everyone, and practicing detachment from outcomes, you pave the way to a life of inner peace. Stoicism offers a path to freedom, where your sense of worth and tranquility come from within rather than from the external world. By embracing this approach, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of meeting expectations that don't align with your true self, allowing you to experience a profound calm rooted in authenticity and self-respect. This journey toward inner peace becomes an enduring source of strength, guiding you to live a life that is both fulfilling and true to your own values. With the liberation that comes from letting go of external expectations, we now turn to a cornerstone of Stoic resilience, cultivating self-worth that stands strong, independent of others' opinions. Many spend a lifetime chasing approval, bending to perceptions and judgments that have little to do with their true value. Stoicism invites us to turn inward, to find a self-worth that remains unshaken, rooted in inner principles rather than external validation. Embracing this path offers profound freedom and builds an unbreakable foundation of self-respect. Here, we will explore how to deepen your sense of self-worth, unlocking a life where you no longer seek confirmation of your value from the outside, but, instead, foster an unwavering respect within. The first step in embracing self-worth independent of others' opinions is shifting your focus from external approval to internal alignment. When you base your value on others' perceptions, You hand over your sense of worth to forces you can't control. Stoicism teaches that what truly matters is whether you live in harmony with your values and principles. Focusing on internal alignment means committing to what you believe is right and worthwhile, even if it doesn't earn applause or affirmation from others. This practice strengthens self-respect because you know you are honoring your own path rather than seeking acceptance. As you prioritize alignment over approval, you create a life that feels authentic and purposeful, where your actions reflect your principles rather than others' expectations. This shift is empowering, building a foundation of inner peace that remains steady even in the face of criticism. Developing an appreciation for your unique strengths and qualities is also essential in cultivating self-worth. Many are so accustomed to seeking validation that they overlook their own abilities and gifts. By acknowledging your unique attributes, you recognize that your worth isn't measured by how others see you, but by the inherent strengths that make you who you are. Stoicism reminds us to look inward, valuing the character, resilience, and wisdom that define us. Take time to reflect on what you genuinely admire in yourself, and consider how these traits have helped you navigate challenges and achieve growth. This appreciation builds confidence and allows you to stand tall, knowing that your worth is defined not by external standards, but by the depth of your character. Embracing your unique strengths is a path to inner stability, where self-worth becomes something you affirm for yourself rather than something you seek from others. Practicing self-validation is another key practice in building self-worth, independent of others' opinions. It's easy to rely on others for affirmation, but Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within. Self-validation involves recognizing your efforts, achievements, and values without waiting for outside acknowledgement. When you validate yourself, you build a self-sustaining sense of worth that doesn't fluctuate based on others' praise or criticism. This practice allows you to develop an inner resilience, as you no longer need others to confirm your value or justify your choices. By consistently practicing self-validation, you build trust in your own judgment and actions. This inner confidence serves as a buffer against the ups and downs of external opinions, allowing you to remain steady and secure in your worth, regardless of others' reactions. Another essential aspect of embracing self-worth is learning to detach from comparisons. Comparing yourself to others often leads to a sense of inadequacy, as it places your worth in a context that has nothing to do with your true self. Stoicism encourages us to look to our own path, recognizing that each person's journey is unique. By detaching from comparisons, you free yourself from the pressure to measure up to arbitrary standards. Instead, you focus on your own progress, values, and goals, finding satisfaction in the life you are building. This detachment allows you to see your worth as independent and whole, rather than as something that needs to be stacked against others. Letting go of comparison fosters a deeper sense of self-acceptance as you begin to see yourself as enough, exactly as you are. Cultivating gratitude for your personal growth journey is also a powerful way to reinforce self-worth. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you may lack to what you have developed and achieved within yourself. When you appreciate your growth, resilience, and progress, you reinforce the understanding that your worth is rooted in your journey and efforts rather than in others' opinions. Stoicism teaches that contentment comes from recognizing the richness of our own lives, not from the fleeting judgments of others. By practicing gratitude for your path, you acknowledge the strength, lessons, and courage you have cultivated, grounding your self-worth in the depth of your own experience. This practice nurtures a profound respect for yourself, as you see that your value is built on the foundation of personal growth and wisdom, independent of external validation. By embracing these practices, focusing on internal alignment, appreciating your unique strengths, practicing self-validation, detaching from comparisons, and cultivating gratitude for your growth, you create a resilient sense of self-worth that cannot be shaken by others' opinions. Stoicism guides us to look inward, recognizing that true value comes from living authentically and honoring our own path. As you cultivate self-worth independent of others' perceptions, you experience a profound freedom where your confidence and peace are self-sustained, unaffected by the shifting tides of external judgment. This journey leads to a life where you no longer seek approval or compare yourself, but stand firmly in the knowledge that your worth is complete, unbreakable, and entirely your own. With a foundation of self-worth independent of others' opinions, we now venture into an equally transformative aspect of Stoic wisdom, letting go of guilt for prioritizing your own happiness. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that focusing on our own well-being is selfish or even wrong. However, Stoicism teaches that true happiness arises from within, and that honoring your own needs is not only essential for personal peace, but also enriches your interactions with others. By shedding the guilt that can come from putting yourself first, you allow space for a life that's both fulfilling and harmonious. Let's explore how to free yourself from this unnecessary guilt. Embrace the importance of your own joy and cultivate a life that reflects your values and inner strength. The first step to letting go of guilt for prioritizing your happiness is to understand that self-care is not selfishness. Society often glorifies self-sacrifice as a virtue, but Stoicism reminds us that without caring for yourself, you cannot be of true help to others. Prioritizing your happiness allows you to show up in life with greater energy, clarity, and positivity. When you nurture your well-being, you create a strong foundation that benefits everyone around you. This isn't about ignoring others or placing your needs above theirs, but about recognizing that true compassion begins within a balance. By focusing on your happiness, you are better equipped to bring joy, kindness, and stability to those you care about. When you release the guilt associated with self-care, you give yourself permission to live in a way that honors both your well-being and your relationships. Acknowledging that your happiness is your own responsibility is also key to releasing guilt. Many people believe that they must rely on external circumstances or the approval of others to feel content, but Stoicism teaches that happiness is an inner state cultivated by our own choices and mindset. By taking responsibility for your happiness, you free yourself from the need to meet everyone else's expectations. This shift allows you to focus on creating a life that aligns with your values and desires, rather than constantly seeking validation. Embracing this responsibility doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means realizing that only you can know what truly fulfills you. As you take ownership of your happiness, you naturally distance yourself from the guilt that may come with prioritizing your well-being, understanding that true contentment is built from within, independent of external opinions. One powerful practice in letting go of guilt is to redefine what it means to give to others. Often, people feel guilty prioritizing their own needs because they believe it detracts from their ability to give. But giving does not require self-sacrifice. In fact, the most meaningful form of giving often comes from a place of fullness and joy. When you prioritize your happiness, you are more capable of offering authentic support and love to others. This idea aligns with Stoic principles, as it encourages giving from a place of strength rather than from depletion. By letting go of guilt, you can focus on quality over quantity in your interactions, bringing a sense of calm and presence that only arises when you've taken care of your own needs first. This new approach to giving removes the sense of burden and instead transforms it into an act of genuine connection and care. Setting boundaries around your happiness is also essential for releasing guilt. Boundaries are often seen as barriers, but in reality, they are tools that allow you to protect what matters to you without harming others. Boundaries communicate to others that your happiness and well-being are priorities, and they prevent the constant drain that comes from neglecting yourself. Stoicism teaches that we are responsible for maintaining the conditions that allow us to thrive, which means not letting guilt push us into overcommitment or sacrifice. By setting boundaries, you create a balanced approach to life, where you're able to offer kindness and support to others while still honoring your own happiness. This practice allows you to engage with others in a way that's both healthy and sustainable, building relationships rooted in mutual respect rather than in self-sacrifice. Another way to release guilt is by embracing the belief that your happiness has value and purpose. Many struggle with feelings of guilt because they undervalue their own joy, seeing it as secondary to obligations or duties. Stoicism reminds us that happiness isn't a luxury or a selfish pursuit. It's an essential aspect of a balanced life. When you see your happiness as valuable, you're less likely to feel guilty for prioritizing it. This perspective helps you view joy as something that enriches your existence and enhances your capacity to contribute positively to the world. Recognizing the worth of your own happiness fosters a mindset where you no longer feel compelled to sacrifice it for others' expectations or approval. Instead, you begin to see that your happiness is as essential as any other goal, and this realization helps you to let go of the guilt that may come with putting yourself first. As you continue to release guilt, practicing self-compassion is a powerful tool to reinforce your journey. Self-compassion encourages you to approach yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when prioritizing your happiness feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. Stoicism teaches that we should treat ourselves with the same patience and care that we would extend to a close friend. When you feel guilt creeping in, use self-compassion to remind yourself that prioritizing your well-being is a valid, necessary part of a fulfilling life. Self-compassion helps you move past guilt by affirming that your needs are worth acknowledging and that nurturing your happiness is a wise, kind choice. This practice creates an inner environment where you feel safe to put yourself first without self-judgment, building resilience in your commitment to your own happiness. In letting go of guilt, it's also essential to recognize that your happiness benefits others. A joyful, fulfilled person radiates positivity, creating a ripple effect that enhances the lives of those around them. Stoicism emphasizes that a balanced, peaceful individual is better equipped to handle challenges, offer support, and cultivate harmony. By prioritizing your own happiness, you become a source of stability and inspiration, showing others the value of self-care and inner peace. When you view your happiness as a gift to others rather than as a selfish pursuit, the guilt begins to fade. You understand that by nurturing yourself, you're contributing to a healthier, more positive environment for everyone in your life. This perspective allows you to fully embrace your well-being as a force for good, making it easier to let go of guilt and embrace joy with confidence. Through these practices, understanding that self-care is not selfishness, taking responsibility for your happiness, redefining giving, setting boundaries, valuing your own joy, practicing self-compassion, and recognizing the positive impact of your happiness on others, you release guilt and begin to prioritize a life filled with inner peace and fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness is cultivated within, and by letting go of guilt, you allow yourself to embrace this happiness fully. This journey is one of freedom, where your well-being is no longer compromised by external demands or self-imposed guilt. Instead, you live with clarity and purpose, nurturing a life that honors both your own joy and your connections with others, rooted in a deep, unshakable commitment to what brings you peace and fulfillment. As we come to the close of this Stoic journey to stop pleasing everyone, you've explored powerful insights into reclaiming your life, setting boundaries, prioritizing your happiness without guilt, and building a self-worth independent of others' opinions. You've learned the art of letting go of external expectations, embracing your own unique values, and finding strength in solitude. Each lesson leads you closer to a life where you live authentically, unburdened by the need for constant approval and deeply aligned with what truly matters to you. This is the beginning of a new chapter in self-respect and resilience. With each step, you'll find a freedom that brings inner peace, allowing you to show up stronger, happier, and more purposeful in your relationships and endeavors. If this guide spoke to you, share your insights below. What's the biggest challenge for you in breaking free from people-pleasing? Let's create a space for honest reflections and growth in the comments. And of course, if you're ready to explore more transformative Stoic wisdom, hit that subscribe button and join us on this path to a life of genuine strength and serenity.